it going live from Singapore and... Are you in Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm living in Liverpool, bro.
Bro, what's going on? Okay, you might be wondering why Foreign today is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more baritone. Yeah. Tell us, what happened to your voice and why are you being so soft, bro?
Okay. First of all, this is the first time I think we've ever done a podcast across 2 time zones, bro.
Yeah, man.
So as we are recording now, it's 6 a.m. in Liverpool. So it should be 1 p.m. for you, right?
Yes, 1 p.m. in Singapore, 6 a.m. in Liverpool. That's why you're being so soft. You don't wake up all your neighbors, right?
Yes, that's one of them. And secondly, this place has very thin walls, bro.
Okay. So yes,
very thin walls.
You definitely don't want to wake everybody up.
And people can hear me.
Okay, what have you heard?
So I don't want to go all out.
What all out? Do you want to go all in, bro? You want double or nothing? Okay, my gosh, we have so many things to catch up. But first and foremost, everybody, thank you so much for being here with us today. I know we're starting a little bit later, 1 hour later than usual. Rishi, hello to you. Div Royalty, is good to see you as well. And can I give you a big shout out as well, my bro? Thank you so much for covering for me last week. Awesome show you did with the live review, like live on-site review at the SPW event. That was really cool with the boys of Miraj.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. And the best part was like none of that was scripted, bro. That was all live, bro.
That's the beauty of pro wrestling, right? Like anything can happen.
Yeah. And the fact was that the Miraj boys really, I didn't expect them to have so much charisma. I mean, both of them were really excited post-show. So shout out to them, man.
Well, hey, you know, that's the beauty of pro wrestling as well, right? Even if you're like kind of coming into it, I don't really know what's going on. If it's a good show, they'll draw you in and you'll be hooked.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was a big crowd. So it's not only just the Miraj boys. Saleh was there. I brought my girlfriend Ifa was there. And then like we saw a bunch of our listeners as well. Not just our OG Div. Shout out to you, Div. We also saw Toverkin. And I believe Irvin was there as well. I didn't manage. I did see him. I said hi to him.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a full crowd. And shout out to the SPW wrestlers because they put on a great show. And we still owe you guys a review on the Patreon. So look out for that. The star ratings for the show.
Absolutely. In the meantime, of course, today's show, we are going to focus on a whole bunch of stuff. In fact, wow, this past week has been kind of a little bit crazy, if you think about it, right? There was GrappleMAX's event, which once again, I apologize, I was not able to go. I was supposed to go and review this one, Fight Club 4, Sorry No Cure. But thankfully, and that's the beauty of our community as well, right? We can lean on people like Div, who's amazing, and we got her review and her ratings from that event, and we're going to share it with you here on the show in just a little while. We're going to talk about AEW and their shenanigans. This is going to be a fun one. From Double or Nothing, as well as from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Before we jump into anything, though, I want to very quickly once again go back and let everybody know that, the reason I wasn't on last week's show, I couldn't do last week's show, and I had to miss GrappleMAX was, I don't know what you told our friends, but I'm very happy to tell everybody now, my dad actually had a heart attack. And sort of going through these past 2 weeks, man, it's been quite a crazy journey, to say the least. I don't think anything in life prepares you for, and I think, like, you know me, like I'm not an overly religious person or things like that. I'm a free thinker, right? But man, it's moments like these, right? You gotta go, was somebody looking out for me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because like it was, it's crazy because, what happened was my dad, 2 weeks ago, last Wednesday, I was actually taking a nap at home. I mean, I work from home. You guys know this, right? And suddenly my helper wakes me up and my dad was like literally leaning on the back of his chair like this. Wow. And it was a crazy scene. And it just so happened that my helper had heard him make that sound, and it was just, everything was just the right people in the right place at the right time. You know what I'm saying? And I ran down, I had to give him CPR, chest compressions. And like I said, like, we've all learned how to do CPR and chest compressions before, right?
Yeah. Shout out to the army for that.
Yeah, exactly. On dummies, training, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I don't think anything really prepares you, not just for doing it, but doing it to somebody who's so close to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
And the fact that you can recall it on the spot, because your mind would have been all over the place,
bro.
trying to center your, right?
I want to give a shout out to SCDF. They sort of sort of taught me through it. And then, it's like the motions, but in the moment you're so flustered, you're like, what the
Yeah.
hell am I supposed to do right now? So I dialed 995 and the lovely lady. I wish I knew who they were. It's I don't know if I can call them. It's not like I can call 995. Excuse me, were you the lady from 2 weeks ago?
What's your Instagram?
Yeah, excuse me, can identify, please? But
Yeah.
shout out to our SCDF for doing a fantastic job. They got to my house within like 10 minutes or so. And yeah, so I like to joke that my second home now is Tan Tock Seng Hospital because he's
Wow.
still recovering, right? He's 81 years old, so it's going to be a long recovery.
I see. Did because I know when we were talking, you were talking about he might have to do like major surgery as well. Is that still on the table, or you guys
That
recovering?
that is further down the road. If anything I've learned is you freaking take it day by day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, take it day by day.
it's weird. Like I don't know how to even explain it to you, bro. It's like this whole ordeal, this whole situation, and he's the one going through it. So don't feel bad for me. Feel bad for him, right? Like this whole ordeal has kind of changed my perspective on so many things. Like we are so fixated and hung up on, I want to do this, I want to pursue this, I want to get like, look out for your own, man. Hug the people you love. Like tell them you love them. Like damn.
And like you've been with your dad, just you and your dad for quite a while, right? So
Yeah.
it's like bond is the closest.
Exactly. And also like, okay, so there's this thing called post-cardiac delirium, right? Actually, after any major surgery, because you are under sedation, or like in my dad's case, he was in an induced coma for 3 days. That was super scary. Like literally, they have to lower his temperature down, induce a coma so that the brain can recover from the heart attack. When the heart stops, you don't get blood to the brain, and that can cause brain damage, correct?
Yes, correct.
So
Yeah.
for 3 days, they were like, okay, no, we're gonna like almost like reset the whole computer, like switch it to a very low power mode for 3 days, and that was kind of scary. But when he was coming out of it, what really like I don't even know if I can like get through this right without getting emotional. But like
Yeah, man.
when the 2 days after he woke up, he started asking me, does mom know about this? Where's mom? Why mom never come and visit? And that my mom, his wife, passed away 6 years ago. So every time he asked that, I'm like,
Wow, must be heartbreaking.
dude, thankfully, his mind is much clearer now. He knows, okay, yes, my wife has passed away and stuff like that. So it's been a crazy week, bro. It's been a crazy, and you know what? The beautiful thing is, wrestling gave me not just a bit of a distraction, but while in the hospital, I was watching King and Queen of the Ring and Double or Nothing with my dad.
Nice. So wait, your dad can now have like a coherent conversation. His clarity of mind is there.
Okay, he's 81, so I don't know if coherent conversation is the right phrase. He can
Okay.
get, older folk, they will repeat the same thing over and over again, but it's a lot. He's like, energy-wise, he'll talk your ear off. And
Okay, that's good. That's really good.
you know what I mean? But like I said, the road ahead is still going to be a long one. There will have to be surgeries and recovery involved, but we take it a day at a time, lah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that things are looking up slightly. And when you gave me the call, I was like, holy shit!
Yeah,
Like
it's
because I have family members who've had heart attacks, and my own dad also had bypass surgery, blockage and stuff like that. So that was only like 2 years ago. So the thought of losing my dad, and because my real mom has passed away as well when I was very young, he's like with all the idiosyncrasies and like father son issues that people might have and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you're like, fuck man, you don't want your dad to die, right? Come on. Like,
of course, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the thing, nobody ever is perfect. Like you said, we all have our own little hang-ups, own little irritating things. But when something like this, you're like, oh no, man, that's been there for me forever. So it is.
But in a way, like I owe you a favor because remember that one time my laptop just died and then you had to do the podcast solo.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like okay lah, we are even in the weirdest way, but at least so I already done one solo podcast, you done one solo podcast. So I guess we are back to now Salih has to do one solo podcast.
Well, you know what it is like, right? It's like when the tag team and then the tag team partner injury or has to be away, then you see that fella all of a sudden become a solos wrestler for a while. So hey, you got my back, I got your back. And hey, we appreciate the community as well. Mama Daniel, not role model, or is it I got no role model, sorry. Haley, Rishi, thank you all, Div, for being here as well. And thank you for the well wishes as well, by the way, up in chat. We really, really appreciate that. All the love is definitely well appreciated. And it's great to know that, like there's this really supportive community out there who will absolutely just, rally behind each and every one of us. I love it.
Yeah, and the best part about wrestling is like, for you, maybe the last couple of weeks was like a good escapism, a good distraction. For me, right, bro, I just can't get away from wrestling, man.
Tell me about. I saw the Instagram stuff. I saw the Discord stuff. Yes, tell me, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me, my bro?
It's you know what it is, right? You're in London, right? Tony Khan got connections in London, bro. Oh, okay. So looks
I can't get away from wrestling because like
we brought up the name and then now he has look. But I have to say the lighting and everything. Wow, your face froze in a very nice spot, lah, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You know what?
Okay.
I'm just switching off my phone 4G so that like it doesn't take away from the internet. Maybe it's because of that. Sorry, so you gotta read out all the comments from the viewers, okay? So because I can't see it. But anyway,
No worries,
I was saying that like I can't get away from wrestling because here I was at Liverpool, I'm at Anfield Stadium, getting ready to go for the tour.
Yep.
I'm at the Superstore and I'm at the cafe. And I'm just minding my own business, looking at the merch and eating. When I look up on the TV, what do I see? UK TNT Sports showing WWE SmackDown. Randy Orton fighting Tama Tonga. Then I'm like, wow, even if I want to get away from wrestling, I will never be able to get away from wrestling.
No. Which is a good thing. Wrestling is in a really good spot. Well, certain companies are. Anyway. So it is great to be back. It's great to be talking about wrestling. So let's jump into it. But before we do anything, two things we need to do. First of all, tell the people you love around you that you love them and take care of them. And take care of your health. My God, that's the other important thing. Sorry, 3 important things. Sure. Take care of your health, you guys. But the other thing we want to talk about, give a shout out to our sponsors of the podcast, Miraj Advisory. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Hey, do us a favor, you guys. Some of you might have met them at the SPW event. You know how much of wrestling fans that they are, right? So that's why they are supporting the podcast. So in turn, guys, do us a favor. Go and support them lah.
Yes, for sure. And you guys, like I said, those people in SPW, you've seen them in the flesh, Daniel, Fi. They are really passionate about wrestling, but they've never seen local wrestling. And then now that they have seen local wrestling, man, they are like, hey guys, we are so happy, for investing in us in the podcast because they want to support the community as well. So, it's a win-win for both of us. So please, guys, go follow them on their Instagram if you haven't. Follow all their content. And, maybe down the road, we might do another episode with them because I heard some good reviews. Like some of the listeners were saying like, hey, they really enjoyed them talking about wrestling. And they were a bit deer in the headlines because every time we were talking, there was like wrestlers interrupting. There was one time wrestler throw stuff at us. I mean, I think they got to experience the full SPW experience with us.
Absolutely. So there you go. Miraj Advisory. If you're listening to this on Spotify, it's MIRAJ Advisory. Go to their Instagram page, drop them a follow. We say thank you. All right. Let's talk about the business. Shall we go chronologically? Because I'm trying to put it all together in my head. First up was GrappleMAX Fight Club, for
Correct.
Sorry No Cure. The one I was supposed to be at.
Yeah, shout out as well to Aussie. We were there last week, as in I was there last week to
Um,
interview them, and I finally got to catch up with like Najwan, Greg,
yes.
D, and like they showed me a couple of exclusives. So like for
Oh.
example, you saw the GrappleMAX Tag Team Championship belts that were unveiled.
Mm-hmm.
I got a peek at it before they put it out on social media. It was beautiful, and
Yeah.
then another thing that we talked about also was like they didn't realize that their show was going to happen right before Fight Club.
Mm.
Uh, before King and Queen on the ring. So like they were like, as they were planning it, they were like, oh my God. I think they only realized it after they
Yeah.
already committed to the show. So
Correct.
they were a bit worried about that. And then the second thing they completely didn't realize, Greg was like, wait, the FA Cup final the same weekend.
It was a busy
Bro,
weekend for some people.
around the same time. So if you were there, those people that were there at Fight Club, the
Mm.
first match, I think SPD and SPD
Kelvin.
and Calvin, right?
Kelvin,
Both
yeah.
of them actually spotted Manchester United and Manchester City jerseys.
Ah.
To reflect who the baby face and the heel was.
Mm.
But this idea literally came to them when they were sitting down and having coffee with me. And
Right.
were like, hey, pick up this weekend. I think we need to do something about it.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that was how fun how that came together. Yeah.
That's the beauty of wrestling, right? You can play into real life happening events anytime on the fly.
Yeah.
For
But
the
very
Maka, it's good
lucky,
to see you, man.
very
Yeah.
lucky that the baby face was Manchester lah, because Manchester won. If
Wait,
Manchester had lost, then paiseh lah.
which one? City or
No, Manchester United was
United?
won the FA Cup, even though like everyone and their mother thought they're gonna lose. So
Ah, okay. Since
underdog.
when has Manchester United been a face? I mean, anyway.
Oh,
Sorry, I literally have a work chat, right, with Man U fans and Liverpool fans, and they're always at each other's throats. It's the most annoying thing. As a non-football person, I'm like, mute group.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. You know what? Before we talk about GrappleMAX, funny story. So, a lot of people think that I'm in London, but I'm actually in Liverpool. I
Mm.
was in London when I landed.
Ah.
Spent a couple of days there, and bro, I left for Liverpool on the same train that the FA Cup final, like it was really near the Wembley.
So a lot of the attendees were there, lah.
Correct. So like as I was boarding my plane, a lot of the Manchester and Man United fans were disembarking.
Mm.
Bro, they were so loud and so obnoxious. I mean, I'm assuming all football fans are like that when they're going to the final.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was like a bunch of like Manchester City fans, and like there was only like four of them, like because they got no fans lah. But four of them, it was so loud. They were like shouting across King's Cross, and I
Oh.
was like, bro, like this is not even your city, man. This is like London. This is like Arsenal and Chelsea fans.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, they're very passionate about their football. Sometimes they don't realize that they can come across obnoxious. I know some people in certain group chats, toxic fans. Anyway.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how someone can be that toxic. But then again, I look at wrestling message boards, so I actually do understand how people can be that toxic. But it is what it is.
It's all the same. It's all the same.
It is. Let's talk about GrappleMAX Fight Club 4. You alluded to the very first match, the opening match. SPD versus Kelvin. Wow, 4 stars for both. Ooh, that is quite the
Wait, you are
rating.
revealing stars for people.
Wait, no. I just give you a tease. I just give you the first one. The rest you'll have to check out our Patreon.
Yeah. We can say who did well, but
Best,
we will
yes.
not reveal the stars. Yeah.
Absolutely. Div said, what a satisfying start to the event. I'm sure SPD's, the big betrayal of Showtime Inc. on SPD.
Showtime, yes.
This is him getting a monicum of revenge, right?
Yes, correct. And I saw a bit of the highlights from the match. So like as I was saying, like, SPD wore the Manchester United jersey and Kelvin was wearing the Man City jersey. And the crowd I think was pretty hot based on what I saw from the Insta stories. Like
Yes.
everyone and their mother again wanted to see Kelvin get beaten up. So it was a satisfying finish. But I think Kevin really showed himself out as well. Like he did put on a great performance. So maybe a bit of like a Cactus Jack versus Randy Orton kind of vibe,
Okay.
Yeah.
They did mention that SPD refused to forgive Kelvin and punish him at the end of the match. So a little like, the whole heel bag off thing, right?
Yeah. I saw the multiple Stone Cold Stunners that he received, and I think that popped the crowd.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Both, yeah.
sorry?
Apparently, both of them had some main event involvement as well, but it was them taking the fight backstage.
I see, I see.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, we'll definitely have to read it when we're talking about it. But what about that venue, bro? Like seeing the projector laid out like that. How do
Yep.
you feel about that?
It's cool. Like, I mean, it's a different layout than usual, but I genuinely really enjoy their match shows. I love that they revisit the mat format, the non-ring format, once in a while. It makes them have to be creative as well about what they can and cannot do.
Yeah, and I love it because I think we saw like a chair at the corner to
Yeah.
do high flying moves. I think one time they brought in a ladder. I mean the both promotions have been stepping up because we've seen Clash at the Club with
Mm.
SPW in a
Siam Tiu. Siam
and
Tiu,
then
yeah.
and then now at Projector in the club. So I mean I love how innovative they're becoming
Yes.
with their shows. So that's great. That's really, really good.
I mean, it does seem like it's going in the right direction. SPD obviously needed that return win, blow off a little bit of that backstabbing, but this is his road to the championship now.
Ooh,
Exciting
exciting times.
times. Yeah.
Finally, cash in that championship. Because the thing is, right, I've always wondered, SPD is like this anti-hero or like, but still beloved. And of course, you
Mm,
got Wilson, right?
mm.
So, for me, if you're gonna have that as a babyface versus babyface match, either both babyfaces have to be super compelling. At this
Yep.
point, Wilson is not, to be really
Mm,
honest. Or one of them has to turn.
yep.
And if based on the crowd reaction, I think Wilson should turn
Yeah.
because SPD is like getting a hell of a crowd reaction. So I'm curious to see what direction GrappleMAX is gonna go with this.
I mean, can you see Inglorious turning again? Because, they were heel to begin with, and then they kind of de facto turned
Yeah,
face recently,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then to switch back might seem a little bit weird. So we'll have
It's
to wait
it's
and
a
see.
it's a booking conundrum, and that's why
Yeah.
we are not bookers, right? We are just
Yeah.
the fantasy bookers.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how they handle that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, talking about turning heel, Sean from Aussie, defeated Ming Rui. Okay, so, I mean, you saw the promo. You see the whole thing where Sean is starting to be a bit more of a dick, huh?
Yeah. Bro, did you listen to a bit of a few sound bites from the interview that we did last week?
What are you referencing?
Bro, he put a lot of hints there. If you listen right, you know
Uh,
that he's turning heel for
right, I
sure.
mean,
The way he answered some of the questions, bro.
sure. So, I mean, we can kind of see the writing on the wall. And the fact that they put him up against Ming Rui. I mean, come on. You,
Yeah,
you know,
come on.
it's like a bit, I'm not saying anything, but it's a bit like low-hanging fruit. Yeah, sure, beat on the girl. Sure, yeah. That's heat, right?
Yeah. But it's not just any girl because Ming
Um,
Ming Rui is like a pretty badass at this point
sure.
in time. Like
Yes,
she has a
yes.
character. She got she has the strength and power. So I would say it's still a sizable matchup. But yeah, it's a dastardly thing, right? To fight a girl.
Yeah.
So
Apparently, there were chants of "you sick f" to Sean, and it was hilarious. Well, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What did he do to her?
I mean,
That
he bully her. He bully her lah.
I see. Let
So
me see.
he did pick up the win in this one, and I mean, rightfully so. They are trying to, push him in that direction, that dastardly direction.
Yeah, and very interestingly enough, I mean, Sean got the higher star ratings in this
Hmm.
match. So I feel like this wrinkle in his character. Remember, we were always been talking. We want Sean to have a bit more of a character, right?
Mm.
Because he might be a bit bland as compared to YC.
Mm.
So having this wrinkle of him turning heel and this story actually kind of now makes him very compelling. Now you want to see what
It
he
does.
does,
Yeah, and,
right?
and why he's like this, right? Let's move
Yeah.
on to the next match. Is this their actual team name? Because it says here Broken Bad, Big Dave and Ban. Is that their official team name, or did you just come up with a new name for them?
Broken Bad, is it supposed to be a reference to Breaking Bad? I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
yeah.
But yes, Broken
Well,
Bad versus MLG, Joses and D.
okay, MLG is midlife goals. That
Yep.
is their official tag team name. Their unofficial is Gout,
Gout
apparently.
is better. I still love Gout. Gout.
Oh,
Easier to
I
chant.
forgot what Gout stands for again, but I know it stands. Oh no, it's not. They stand for anything. It's just because they are older people, so they got
No,
Gout issue.
no. Originally in their skit they made it stand for something, but it was a joke lah.
Yeah. Okay, so MLG slash Gout. So that's the legit team. But the Big Dave and Bun, remember the previous show?
Yep.
Bun turned heel. Bun had and just basically said yes to the dark side in Amplify. So
Yeah.
this is the continuation of that story right now.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, WWE is playing off a similar angle with the Alpha Academy, if you realize, with Chad Gable trying to get Otis to do bad things. So
Yeah, correct.
that, you actually, hey, GrappleMAX did it first in this era, huh?
Yeah, it's a tried and tested method, man. I mean, it's a great way to build something between them. Yeah.
Very quickly, I want to mention, just to backtrack a bit, Divya as well had a little bit of involvement. They set up Ming Ray versus Divya for the June show, according to
Okay.
Div Royalty.
So I met Divya when I went to interview Aussie, and she comes across very sweet and all that, but like apparently like
She's
has some
badass.
legit cred. She
Yeah.
has some legit street cred from her Indian promotion. Apparently she trained in the promotion that Great Kali set up.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm very excited to see her in the ring. So that's gonna be interesting.
But back to Broken Bad. I guess
Yeah.
maybe that's the reason for that name, right? Like, Breaking Bad, like he's fully turned to the dark side. Apparently, Ban had no resistance to Dave's nastily instructions. So he's following, he's Broken Bad.
He's Darth Vader already, lah, bro. Anakin gone already.
Yeah, that's
Not
why.
Darth Vader.
So, let's see. Both teams made full use of the hyped up crowd, with D even getting a bit of a boost from the crowd for his parang. Wait, what?
What barang?
D had, okay, explain, Div. Why got parang suddenly come out?
I mean, I've been told, that one looks like a parang, so I maybe he's talking about that. I don't know what's going on.
That seems like a weird shape, lah, bro. Parang fat at the end, skinny.
There's a curvature right there, bro. It's like bendy like Beckham, right?
What exactly are we talking about here?
We're talking about football and wrestling.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool. Yeah.
I don't know why I suddenly pictured Matt Hardy's legs. Because Matt Hardy is a little bit bow-legged. Do you know?
I did. Yeah, I do realize it.
Right?
His bow-legged really, really obvious.
Yeah, obvious. So when you talk about Ben, I suddenly think about him. But anyway, that was my way to get out of that situation. Oh, Div Royalty says the running chop move that he does is called the parang. Understand.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, let's completely forget the last 30 seconds of conversation. Okay, the parang, yes.
Let's not and clip it and put it as a clip because that was hilarious stuff. Anyway, pretty decent ratings for everybody. But
Yeah,
Dave and
yeah.
the two Ds, the double Ds, were sort of the quote unquote higher rated wrestlers in this one, apparently.
I mean, Dave has been on a streak, bro. Actually, quietly, right? If you've been paying attention to the star ratings the last couple of shows, Dave has consistently scored really, really high, and I think
No
it's testament
surprise.
to his character. Yeah, it's testament to this storyline as well.
But to me, it's no surprise because he's Big Dave. He's the guy. That's why he trains a lot of them as well. He's the veteran.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but this time, what makes it so interesting is it's not just us acknowledging it; it's really the communities, the listeners as well who are giving these stars. So nice, good job, Dave.
let's talk about Lavin versus Simon Xia. I saw some of the clips and highlights on Instagram as well. They brought intensity to their match, according to Div, with stiff chops and slaps, and surprisingly some grappling skill from Simon as well. Oh yeah, it's an interesting point to make that, no turnbuckles, so no stuff for him to fly off. He's a high flyer. How would he fare in a very mat-based wrestling situation against a mat-based wrestler like Lavin, right?
Yeah. Very interestingly, the fact that they've been a tag team, they are learning right from each other. So I think maybe a lot of the grappling that Simon is employing in the match came from his training with Lavin as well. So that was a very interesting wrinkle in the match dynamic.
Unfortunately, though, they did not make up after the match. You talk about them being a former tag team. I saw the clip of Simon, his shoulder, walking away from Lavin and then shoulder bumping him.
Yeah. Very interestingly enough, I think the fact that they have solidified this turn, right? That they are not going back as a tag team. No more surf and turf, as you like to call them.
Oh man!
Unfortunately,
Div says she wants Lavin and Simon to have a best of 3 series.
Ooh, okay. So I'm assuming this match was really well done in a technical sense. And engagement. I did see. This was the match where I saw Simon tried to do or did was it like a Jeff Hardy swanton on a chair? but
Oh,
because the projector's ceilings is pretty low,
ah.
so there was like piping in the way. So I think some people were chanting like please don't please be careful or something like that.
Oh my goodness, that's cute. That's funny.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, okay, so let's move on to the main event of the evening. I see a lot of stars. Well, it was
Ooh.
full on, like, faction warfare lah. Finally, we got the blow off. And man, it sucks that I missed it. Inglorious versus Showtime Inc. Finally, the big blow off between the two factions. Greg, Hotshot and Wildfire versus Showtime Prabhu and Julian. And like I said, there are a lot of stars here.
Yeah. And I think it's really, really cool that, the match immediately started, with chaos. Can I say, is it safe to say that it's like anarchy in the arena, but
I
for
will.
GrappleMAX?
I was about to bring this up, the fact that, you had like
Yeah.
a faction war, and then I was like, wait a minute, isn't Anarchy in the arena also kind of like similar? Wow, that one was a completely different thing. We'll get to that in just a bit. Oh my God.
Yeah. Very interestingly, I think generally Div just said that, there was a lot of double team.
A lot of double team moves. Yep.
But the ones that got the most, the one that got the most ratings were the leaders of each faction. So I think the generals commanded their troops really, really well in this match.
And once again, I'm not surprised. The veterans are, leading the way as they should, right? And at the same time, while they do it, bringing everybody else up also. Oh. I think that is a look of agreement from Foreign right there, even though his face is frozen. Okay, there you go. We got you back. All right. I think,
Yes,
bro,
I've agreed.
bro, what you need to do is you just have a permanent smile. No matter what you say, you just smile so that if it ever freezes, at least you look handsome.
Okay, I just do this.
Yeah, the whole way you talk. Oh my God! Look at the zoom.
It's
the fireworks.
So my face can lag, but special effects still can be shown on my Zoom.
Zoom. What is up with that?
It don't make sense to me, bro. It don't make sense.
But I hope they post this on their social media soon so I can, give this a watch. It sounds like it was such a fun show. And once again, it's the, like a intimate space where you can really get the feels of, an event like this.
Yeah, and like jumping off from the fallout from this show, right? Like, Inglorious got the win. So eventually, am I right to say Inglorious got the win, right?
No. Yeah, yes, correct, yes.
Yes, Inglorious got the win. So does this mean Showtime Inc. is being vanquished? Is there gonna be a part 2 to this war? Because like there's a lot of people threatening to break out in Showtime Inc. in my opinion. Like, it's not just SPD, right?
Yeah.
We have seen like Prabhu stepping up. We've seen Julian becoming more of a force, and of course Kelvin. And so like I'm just, if I was Showtime, I'm thinking like, how do I motivate or remotivate my troops as well as like get everyone in order, because the egos are gonna clash. In my opinion, Glorious got the moral victory here.
Yep.
They can move on. But what's gonna happen to Showtime? That's the interesting thing that I'm gonna, pay attention to.
Yeah. And moving ahead as well, now they're going to focus on their tag team championships, like you alluded to earlier, and they've showed everyone what the belts look like on their social media page as well. Dual Destinies is the event, and it's on 2 nights.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna go all out for this. So everyone's in tournament mode, bro. It's not just WWE, AEW, it's GrappleMAX as well. So
yeah, man.
Well, I'll definitely be back for that. So hopefully, Young, you and me, we can catch these two-header shows.
It's the day after my birthday, just FYI. June 22nd and June 30th.
Wait, June 22nd.
29. Why am I even talking about 29 and 30th? There you go.
Yeah. So it's that one weekend lah, basically. So it's a WrestleMania season, day 1 and day 2.
Wait, is there a Saturday and a Sunday? It has to be, right? Let me double check real quick.
Yeah. Let's double check. So you hear what Young say is his birthday lah that weekend. So
yes,
to catch a spear for him.
Oh my God! It's Saturday and Sunday, 29th and 30th of June. There you go. Oh, my birthday is on a Friday. I didn't even realize it, but there you go. That's what's happening. The tag team tournament is going to be a lot of fun.
All right. I mean, can't wait for it, and I'm sure there's a lot of local wrestling to look forward to once we're back. I've heard. Sorry.
Causeway Jam is this weekend in KL, by the way.
Oh yes, all the best to all our GrappleMAX wrestlers that's going up to my PW for that show.
Yep.
That should be interesting. I don't know whether there's any of our patrons going up. Is Div still going up? If I'm not
I
wrong.
think she did mention that she was, but we will we will chat with her about it, and maybe she can give us another lowdown of what went down at MyPW. But in the meantime, though, okay, let's shift gears right now and then head to the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yet another Saudi show. They are doing Crown Jewel in November, if I'm not mistaken. They did announce it.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that is another what do you call it? Another big show that's coming back, but it's not in the same city, bro.
Oh, I thought it was in Riyadh.
No. So this show was in Jeddah,
Correct.
but the Crown Jewel is in Riyadh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in a different city, but they've been to Riyadh before, lah. It's just a whole come visit all of Saudi situation. Okay, before we jump in, in case I forget, right? The funniest thing happened during King and Queen of the Ring, talking about announcements. Did you there was that moment where Triple H appears on screen and he tells everybody about Drew McIntyre has been cleared, and then the crowd cheers. And then he can now fight Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then the crowd cheered. And then he said, in Scotland, at Clash at the Castle, and then the crowd like, oh.
Yeah. The crowd.
I'm like,
I mean, what were they expecting? Can't be they do the match now, what?
Well, maybe that's what they thought. So I actually thought like, hey, Triple H, phrase your words, temper expectations a bit lah. Don't give them false hope like Drew McIntyre is going to show up there suddenly,
Yeah, blue ball. I mean, Drew is getting more popular, so like, I'm not surprised the Saudi fans wanted to see him.
I thought that was hilarious when it happened. Okay, let's jump to King and Queen of the Ring, live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, happening right after GrappleMAX as well. I'm sure a lot of the wrestling fans had to rush home to go and load up the WWE network.
Yeah, I know Div was one of them. Div was texting about that. And very interestingly enough, right, like there was a lot of things happening, right? There was the FA Cup final, there was GrappleMAX, and then there was King of the Ring. But I felt like this show overall, like there was a bit of anticipation. There's a bit of like a reset in the way that it's being like booked, because a lot of the people coming out of this show felt like, oh, okay, now there's a direction for what's going to happen in the summer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it definitely felt like a quote unquote a setup show more than a resolution show in that sense, if that's where you're going at, or what you're going at.
Yeah.
So okay, did you manage to catch it live?
Yeah, I did. I believe it was like 6 p.m. here in Liverpool. So it was a good time for me on Saturday. Just came back from all my jalan-jalan, but like I was very interested to see. There's only one match I was interested to see, to be really, really honest. and we can talk about it later, but let's talk about the rest of the show.
I did not watch the pre-show, but on the pre-show was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, who I heard, even though she was wearing the full body suit, can see abs. So I'm like, whoo, her abs. Power lah.
Can see abs and nothing else was poking out? Only the abs?
Just the abs, bro. Just the abs. You focus on the abs, okay?
Just checking.
In the most decision ever, they beat Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Like, why even have the match?
Poor girls. Okay, it makes sense when they were, wrestling in Australia because, Indy Hartwell.
Yeah.
But I think they literally pulled the trigger on the storyline like a few days before. Like, and I think they kind of reference how in the first round, Candice LeRae kind of injured Bianca Belair in her knee, and that played throughout until this match. Maybe that's the reason why as well. Yeah.
But wasn't Candice also doing the whole Mean Girls act with Maxine Dupree? Like, why are we not getting a blow off of that? Now Maxine is sort of in her whole Alpha Academy, Chad Gable storyline, right? And they've sort of kind of left it hang. I don't know, was there a resolution or maybe I missed something? But I thought that
it's multiple storylines happening at the same time. That's what I'm getting.
So it becomes like it's not a main focus storyline, and therefore it just kind of becomes a by the way situation, huh?
Yeah, seems to be the case. Yeah.
We've said it before, but is Candice LeRae and by association Indy Hartwell sealing NXT?
Ooh.
You know, like
That's
they
the $1 million question, right?
right, and if you want to extend that same comparison to Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, like they were the linchpins, the pillars of NXT in their respective divisions, right? But on the main roster, they're just there, you know.
I mean, to be honest, to be fair, Triple H has a lot on his plate, and
Yep.
like he could build the show around these people, right, back in NXT. But now they are mixing up with like the big boys, right? So
Yeah.
of course you can't expect Ciampa to like suddenly be on the same level as like Randy Orton or like you know what I mean? Like they're gonna build themselves up towards that.
Yeah. I think, see, that's the thing. I think that Ciampa could get to that level. It's just that he gets stuck with his best friend from NXT and it takes him down. Because, you know what I mean?
I see.
I don't know. Like, even as a tag
Okay.
team, they are sort of an afterthought tag team. Same with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. So, yeah. No, but I get exactly what you mean in that, like, you got Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, or you could be pushing Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Asuka, all
Yeah.
these big names, right? Like, yeah, they...
I think maybe it's a case of they need to beat their time a bit.
Yeah.
I know Candice LeRae is been doing better work as a heel.
Yep.
But of course this feels like a mid card, storyline at best, right?
Yeah.
I know we didn't watch the match, but I saw highlights of it, right? Bro, Bianca and Jade are really wrestling like a tag team. Do you see their finish? Their finisher to this match was amazing, bro.
What was it?
I think it was like someone did like a gut wrench, like a suplex, like a German suplex, and then like Jade caught her and like did like a neck breaker or some
Oh.
crazy shit where they show off their power lah.
Yeah.
I can't remember for sure, but basically they are really wrestling and doing tag team sequences and moves, so they're taking this team seriously. So shout out to them.
Which is what they should do, because I don't want it to be a case of, oh, let's just turn one of them. Because you know the turn is coming in inevitably, right? But
Yes,
for us to give a shit about the turn, we need to care about the team first.
Yes. So build them up. Do a Hogan and Warrior. Go 1 year
Yeah,
as champion before all I care.
Yeah, no,
And-
exactly, right? Have them be dominant and give them the numbers to back it up. Like, oh, 697 days as tag team champions or some shit. Then it means something when they lose. And meanwhile, in the interim, Jade can get her reps in the ring with Bianca,
Yes.
with everybody else
Yes.
to sort of guide her through, because we know she's not ready to be solo yet.
That's the point I was trying to make as well. You're absolutely right. I think the more time they spend together, it's more blessings for Jade, for her to learn. And if you realize in some of the backstage segments, it's her taking the lead in
Yeah.
the promos.
You froze for half a second and your face was like... So, smile, bro. You had to smile the whole way through. Okay.
Yeah. I gotta do this.
Yeah. There you go. We got the thumbs up from
Explosions.
Zoom. There you go. Okay, let's talk about kicking off the show. Crowd was hot. I love the Saudi crowd. And really, okay, if anything, France has set the stage, has set the tone. Like, oh, all these foreign crowds, they are on notice. You better step up. If not, you don't malu yourself. Because
Yeah.
they were singing...
They copied a couple. They copied
they-
a couple of the
yep.
chants from France, right?
But here's the
Really
thing. They weren't as quote unquote disruptive as France. Like, we talked about it in the Backlash review, right? Like, yes, I love the France crowd. I love the energy, but they were a bit distracting at points. So my favorites are still Puerto Rico, and now you can put Saudi Arabia up there because they were hot for the whole show.
Saudi fans, I think they already got a bit more regular taste of WWE. They come
Yep.
there twice a year anyway. So
Yeah.
I think they are more chill, but they are still excited. So that's great.
Yeah. Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, in the hospital, I was watching WWE. So I put it there and to give my dad something to watch as well, to distract him, right? So
Yeah.
I got his comments on a
Oh.
lot of these shows. As
Okay,
someone,
I'm curious to see his
Yeah.
comments on this.
as someone who's literally not watched wrestling since Hogan, since the 80s, since the golden era, right? This is when he
Yeah.
was watching and he got me into watching wrestling. So a little full
Yeah.
circle moment here. So you got Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. I think the one quote that stuck out to me was, not as good as the guys.
Ooh.
But, you know,
I mean,
here's
that's an honest, right?
yeah, no,
Honesty,
that's
right?
very honest reaction. And here's the thing, as I was watching it, I was like, he's not wrong in that this is not the level of Rhea versus Charlotte. And there's the saying like, oh, Rhea and Charlotte wrestle like guys. It's actually, that's supposed to be meant as a compliment. It means that they wrestle like two strong individuals punching and wrestling and grappling the shit out of each other. When he said that, and I couldn't get that out of my head when I was watching Liv Morgan and Becky, because Liv, I've said this before, I'll say it again, right, is not convincing when she wrestles. It just is what it is. And Becky, out of all the 4 horsewomen, she's more character than she is technical. Can we agree to that?
Right? Because I feel like Becky stepped up when she fought the likes of like Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. She felt like she could hang and was there. But when she's like around other more normal girls, I think it drags her down as well.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think she's the type that shines when she's with the right people. But when she's with people who are slightly less seasoned than her, I don't say drop down to their level, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it literally is that, because I heard her like shouting like instructions and like you could tell she was mouthing, like she was calling the match, right? Funny thing about Liv is like when you talk about how Becky's all character, I think Liv, what is powering her through this current storyline is her character and the whole Liv revenge tour. That's the thing that's making her interesting and compelling. Nothing about her in-ring work.
No, but I will even disagree with you on that. I don't even think it's her Liv revenge tour that is powering her. It's the Dom and Mami connection that's powering her.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, without that, she would just be, Liv Morgan revenge tour. Oh, like, I don't know. She's pretty.
We all know what is the end goal here, the end game. And the tease was there, right? Dom was part of the finish, right? Dom was supposedly trying to interfere to let Becky win. But then ended up, backfiring and causing Liv to win. And we all know Liv wants to take everything from Rhea, and that includes her man.
Yeah. And we all know that when Rhea does come back, she's going to be a mega face. There's no way she's going to be a heel. So it makes perfect sense for Dom to backstab Rhea and start this Rhea versus Liv feud, with Rhea being the mega baby face. Can you imagine Rhea versus Liv Morgan at like a Survivor Series or SummerSlam,
Bro, you know what I want for SummerSlam, right?
What do you want?
Liv versus Rhea, ladder match, custody of Dominic.
Oh my god! Custody
of Dominic too.
Will Rey Mysterio be the guest ring announcer or something?
Bro, I don't know, man. I just want to see Dominic hung there like on a shark cage or shark tank or some shit, and both of the girls fighting over. I think that would be hilarious.
Wait, Tovakin says first thing I saw when I opened IG today is Liv kissing Dom. Did that happen on Raw? I haven't watched Raw. Oh, what are they doing?
Let us know. Have they?
Oh yeah. Yo! I just opened my Instagram.
Wait, they're looking at each other, but they're not kissing. Oh no, they are kissing.
The second picture. Oh my god!
Is it a forced kiss or is it like a Liv?
She forced it on him, so he's
It's not like a Dom liked it yet. No, not yet.
Yeah. Okay, so it's quite obvious.
I'm waiting for the kiss back. That's the one I want.
So that is what it is, right? Now they're making it very obvious. They were very subtle at first, and now they're making it obvious. All leading up to, of course, Mami returning, and Dom is gonna get even more heat than ever. My God, his heat is nuclear at this point. Let's talk about Dom.
Bro, this is the storyline of the summer already, bro. I'm gonna be. You're talking about like soap opera, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about telenovela. This is the telenovela that you've wanted all along, yeah?
Yes, finally. Fine. No more Aaliyah Mysterio. She was a terrible actress anyway. But okay.
Live better.
Yeah, live better. But yeah, to the point we were talking about, Liv, honestly, is just all storyline. I wouldn't even say character work. She's all storyline. She's only popular and relevant because the storyline around her is juicy and salacious, and it involves people who genuinely have heat.
If so, you're saying if it was any other wrestler in this spot, they would probably have gotten the same reaction.
Yeah. It just is that Liv is there because, once again, I don't think her promos, Her promos haven't won me over, and her in-ring work definitely hasn't won me over. Especially not in this match. Becky tried her best. It was like, like I said.
Okay, I know a lot of people forgot, but Liv was a women's champion like 2 years back. I think. Remember when she was
Yep.
fighting Ronda,
Yep.
and then she was like all of a sudden like the queen of extreme. Suddenly
Yeah.
she's hardcore. Remember
Didn't
that
she?
that whole.
She cashed in on Ronda, right? That's how she won.
Yes, correct. So why I brought up that was because like during that period, right, I felt no chance in hell was she a legitimate champion.
Yep.
Like she just lucky got a women's money in the bank, blah blah blah,
Mm.
right? But you gotta admit, this time round, right, like at least it feels deserved that she's a champion. Like it makes sense. There's a story to it. Yes,
Yep.
her in-ring work might not be the best, but I feel like I think she has taken advantage of this opportunity, this storyline given to her, and she's ran with it. So
Yeah.
I'm actually intrigued to see her as champion, which I
I
would have never had said 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. I think she's one of those cases where her passion and her hard work is being rewarded at this point.
Yeah.
I hope that she becomes like a Trish Stratus, because we all remember Trish Stratus when she first started. She was not a wrestler, right? She literally trained on screen, and at the height that she was at versus Lita, they were like, iconic women's wrestling matches. So in this vein, I hope that she goes that route. But the problem is now it's 2024. There are a lot more alternatives and better women wrestlers than Liv. So it's going to be a much harder and very different road.
Yeah, I mean, she gotta step up and also be very different, like,
Yeah.
and doing this storyline is very different already. And I know that you say it is interchangeable, but if Liv can deliver it, then I think WWE will trust it with even more complex storylines going forward. So
I think so. All right, let's move on to Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed.
yeah. This was all storyline as well.
Yeah. A lot of it was storyline. It was the whole, Chad and Sami. I enjoyed watching Chad and Sami. I don't know if this should have been a triple threat. Like Bronson, I feel bad for Bronson Reed as well. Like he a lot of times feels like he look at him. He's a big guy that's very athletic, but somehow he's always like the third wheel in these stories. He's the afterthought. Oh, by the way, there's a threat here. Oh, okay, it's Bronson. He's over there. And then even the finish didn't really involve him. Like he was just there to take the helluva kick and then go down, take the pin 1, 2, 3.
It was really more of the Alpha Academy Otis. Like,
Yeah.
okay, one good thing from everything that went down was that, okay, now Sammy and Chad can kind of move on from each other. Sammy can focus on becoming IC champion, defending against whoever it is, maybe Bronson Reed or blah, blah, blah. And clearly it's setting up, Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable. That's going to be like their storyline of the summer for them. But hey, I think it's really compelling because one of the things that Chad has always said that he considers Otis like his best friend in the business. They grew up and they trained together. And Otis with the right opponent can do banger matches as well.
Yeah. I very clearly see where this is going. In that you got Perk Gable now.
Bro, they even have the use up chance on him.
Yeah, he used up chance. I love it, Saudi was there for it, but at some point Chad's gonna beat Sammy for the IC title. And Chad needs that quote unquote reign of terror. And the person who's gonna dethrone him? Otis. Right? Fine. Like, do you not see the outline here of where this is going? Like, Chad will take it off Sammy. Sammy doesn't need to win it back. Sammy's Sammy already. He's established already, right? Then, finally, Otis has had enough of Chad Gable's bullying and whatnot, and there's a feud. And then that's how Chad makes Otis.
Bro, do you feel like in this scenario, Sammy should just be a transitional champion?
Yeah, I do. I really do. That's why I was actually surprised that he retained here. I actually wanted him to lose here. Nothing against Sammy, but I think they realized maybe he shouldn't lose in Saudi,
Bro, you know what this means, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this makes a lot of sense. If you let Sammy drop the title and let Chad cope with it, right, and have that storyline of Otis, Sammy can be elevated to the world title contendership.
Sure.
And next thing you know, Raw is gonna be super packed with lots of main eventers right there.
Exactly.
So that's gonna be interesting. Very interesting that you put that.
I wouldn't be surprised, let's just put it that way, if he drops he's not going to be like 666 days. No, he's going to drop the title soon enough, and I hope like seeing the trajectory right now, Chad is getting a lot of heat. He should be the Intercontinental Champion for a while. Like a heel Intercontinental Champion just seems right. For whatever reason, the best IC champs were always heels, if you think about it.
But then my question to you then would be like, does it devalue Gunther's 666 title reign?
No, it's fine. It just makes Gunther, and it justifies Gunther ascending to king and ascending to the World Heavyweight Championship reign. Like this, like what he did cannot be touched, you know?
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah, no, I think if anything, if Sammy go and hold it for 700 days, then it devalues Gunther, you know?
To make it special, like it shouldn't be as long. Yeah.
No, it's like nobody can hold the title as long as I did. You only hold 100 days. I hold 666, you know? And it's damn funny, the number is such a memorable number, 666.
Bro,
I'm like...
It's satanic, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's actually quite crazy if you just sidetrack, look back at WrestleMania, some of the title reigns, right? Like Roman Reigns' title was 1-3-16. Like, how come like so easy to remember? 1-3-16, Austin 3-16.
Yeah. And it's all serendipity, right? Like
Seth.
No, like who can guess that 666 would have ended on a pay-per-view?
No,
right?
and I think Seth Rollins was 3-16 as well. So I'm like, did they plan this or is this a really lucky numbering?
Bro, at WrestleMania of all days, WrestleMania 666, right?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me. Yeah.
It's really cool, really cool.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a fun match, you know? But once again, like you said, like it's a lot of story, which is good, right?
Yeah. It was an easy watch. I think the first hour of the show was like, okay, I was getting myself warm up, but yeah, it was fine.
Bro, I love that you brought that up because I had the exact same thought. Watching King and Queen of the Ring versus watching AEW Double or Nothing. Guess which one was a slog? Even though I will say I enjoyed the matches more on AEW. This might be a shocker to you, bro. But I enjoyed the matches, some of the matches, not all, obviously. But too much of a good thing, I guess. I don't know. Like it's kind of crazy to say.
Bro, you're absolutely right. It's a pacing thing, right? Like you play GM mode, right? WWE.
Yeah.
You know the freaking flow, the draft.
Yeah.
You gotta give them a great opener, you know, control a bit, the middle, and then end up with a great main event. Not everything, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna just kill yourself.
Okay, anyway, we'll get to that in just a bit. Let's move on to the next match. Queen of the Ring Tournament Finals. By the way, they did mention that the winner, finally they gave stakes to the King and Queen of the Ring, right? They will get a championship shot at SummerSlam.
Yeah. This hasn't been done since Brock Lesnar in 2002. Do you remember?
Yes, Brock versus Rock, right? At SummerSlam, this is the passing of the torch.
Yeah. So Brock actually won the King of the Ring that year. I think he beat RVD, the last man. And that was when King of the Ring was in July. So like it makes sense for it to be in SummerSlam. So I'm actually very curious to see how they're gonna carry the momentum from this month past Clash at the Castle, Money in the Bank, and then SummerSlam.
Yeah. So I was not surprised that this was the final decision because I don't think Lyra is there yet. They needed to get her to the finals to highlight her, right? Like to give her shock wins over people like Io Sky and I can't remember who else she beat. But you know, just to like say, oh, this is our new signing. Wow, she's very good. But Nia Jax, love her or hate her, no matter what you think about her ring work, right? She is an irresistible force. She is visually like, whoa, you know, she can kick some ass, right? And the finish, oh my God.
Yeah, man. Bro, I do not know whether Edison is on the chat, but I know Edison is famous in our Discord for being a Nia Jax hater. I remember he said, I'm going to shut down the TV when she came out in Royal Rumble, right?
Look, to be fair, I didn't pay attention to this match. This match to me was not interesting. I just wanted to know the finish. That's all.
Yeah. But have you been paying attention to Nia Jax's run since her return? Because in my opinion, she has stepped up. Like she's actually really compelling right now as a heel.
Yeah. No, that's just because she's booked well. I still don't really like watching her matches because, like Jim Cornette says, it's like trying to wrestle a fridge. You know?
I love that analogy, bro.
And it's so true. Like just watching her matches, except for maybe the finish, and this was a really good finish.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And the best thing is, okay, first of all, I have no idea why they're pushing Lyra because I don't really see anything in her. No offense. Like,
She is a
I know
bird.
she's like
I'm like a bird. I don't
the Raven,
know.
she's the Irish, she's all that, but
Raven, yeah.
and I know she got Becky's stamp of approval, but I just do not know why she's in this spot. Like,
Well,
bro,
mm,
Tiffany Stratton in this spot. Imagine that,
ah, maybe she
right?
too Tiffany too thirsty for Saudi lah. You know, Tiffy with the tight top, maybe a bit inappropriate lah. You know.
Maybe,
And
maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
didn't
know.
recently she put out a tweet that was quite insensitive or something like that. Maybe she's getting like a bit of a slap on the wrist. Okay, you quiet a bit.
What did she say? I can't
I
remember.
forgot already. She tweeted something and then she removed it. So, like might be like semi-racist. I can't remember what it was. But somebody, if you remember this story.
Okay, I think it's something against Jade or Bianca. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
but the point is like I just don't know why Lyra was in this spot. Maybe I never paid attention to her work in NXT or NXT UK, so maybe I'm not aware.
Yeah.
But
Like I've said this before, right? And it shows in all her matches. She's technically a good wrestler, but character-wise, she doesn't really like. Yeah, she's got the feathers. It looks cool, but she doesn't stand out. She hasn't. It's like Becky Lynch before she became the man. Before she got punched in the face by Nia. So maybe what needs to happen is Nia Jax needs to whack her one time bleed. Then she become badass.
bro, the finish already I think pretty badass lah. I mean for Naya lah, when
Oh,
Naya
she-
literally
yeah.
sat on her.
Yeah, literally squashed her. Oh my god,
Oh.
it was a great finish. You know what I think Lyra should be doing? Nia Jax is the worst person to showcase Lyra against because Lyra is a technical worker. She needs to go up against technical workers as well so they can show off their skills. Against Nia
you're saying
Jax,
that
you're literally moving around a fridge.
So you're saying like Lyra versus Natalia or
Yeah.
like
Well, I mean, Natalia's not really there. So that wouldn't elevate her.
who is
lah.
the most technical women wrestler right now, like in WWE? Shayna?
I guess. But, that's a good question actually.
You see now I can't even think of anyone like can be like
Yeah.
I mean I've always thought Natalia was like the best in-ring worker, but she's not highlighted in that way. I get what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, this decision made sense to me. And this only gives wait, she is which I
Okay,
forgot
so
which
Naya
branch.
Naya is
Raw.
Naya is SmackDown.
Oh, SmackDown.
Yeah, so when she wins the Queen of the Ring, so now she has a title shot against Bailey.
Is Bailey a bit like already? What has she done
No,
since
not yet.
WrestleMania? What has she done
I
since
mean-
WrestleMania?
She had that triple threat with Naomi and
Sure.
Tiffany and all that.
Mm.
I think Bailey's like in the honeymoon period, like enjoying herself becoming champion, blah blah blah.
Correct. So yeah, there you go. Let's move on to the next one. Is the King of the Ring tournament final. Gunther versus Randy Orton. This one also was a very easy call for me. I think we all saw it coming. It had to be Gunther winning, right? This is the ascendancy of
Oh.
Gunther.
This was the match that I was waiting for. This was literally the only match. I mean, there's other matches that was great, sure.
Yeah.
But when this match was announced and booked, and we know that this was going to be the one, I'm like, holy shit, Randy versus Gunther, bro. That
Yes.
is dream fucking match.
It is. And it's one of those dream matches you never realize was a dream match until it shows up in front of your face and you go, oh shit, that's gonna be good, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great thing to say. And okay, so first thing, like, when Randy got to the finals and it was Gunther. Gunther, we always knew was going to be like the favorite, right?
Yeah.
But when Randy went to the final, I actually legitimately felt like, wow, WWE did a great job making it, like a bit of a blur
Yeah.
who will actually win. Because like Randy is a legitimate, credible threat to
Yeah.
Gunther. Like if he had won,
Yeah.
it would have been a surprise. But people will accept it because it's holy shit,
He's
it's Randy Orton.
Yeah,
King of the Ring, right?
he's a former champion, and they kind of gave Randy a little bit of an out when he did lose because he got beat up on SmackDown. After the Tamatonga win, right? He got beat up a bit, so he wasn't quote unquote 100%.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that if Randy had won, it would have led to a perfect storyline because he would have challenged Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
But
so
not
it
yet
would have been
lah.
great lah.
Yeah,
either way, yeah. But I mean, not it wasn't meant to be, or maybe they're saving it for another time. One thing I want to say though, is it me or Randy is actually bigger than Gunther?
He is. He is like bulk-wise, right? He is bigger. So it looked very weird because Gunther is usually the bigger guy.
Yeah, it's hilarious because Gunther wrestles a style where he's like the giant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But Randy wrestles like a more athletic, like a flashier style, and he doesn't wrestle like he's a heavyweight monster, but he's technically the heavyweight monster here.
Well, okay, to be fair, his wrestling style, I noticed this as well in his current run, is a lot slower than before. He used to be the tall, lanky guy,
even more
right?
slower.
Huh?
He's always been slow, bro.
No, but now he even slower.
Oh,
Like he takes a lot more time to sell, to a point where sometimes I feel like can speed things up. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, that was his biggest criticism. Okay, during the PG era, when you weren't watching,
Yeah.
people were saying that Randy is a boring champion because he's just so slow and too methodical.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you say that he's even more slower now.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it. Maybe, it is what it is.
He loves the art of selling, lah. He loves the psychology.
So he like Edge, lah. That's why him and Edge are a good tag team, right? They both sell.
Bro, but one thing very funny, right? I can tell for a fact, right? Randy hates getting chopped. He's not a fan. Like, you can tell he like fucking got pissed off, like, can I chop?
I heard I saw on Instagram somebody posted a meme. Even his voices in his head felt that one or something like that. Because you see his face. He's like he's talking, after he gets slapped, or either that or it's just really good selling.
I remember like Undertaker also said in an interview, he always told Ric Flair, I do not want to get chopped. I hate getting chopped. That was his WrestleMania 18 match with Flair.
Well,
so if you watch any of Taker's matches, right, you understand, you see like no one, Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, all Shawn Michaels, all never tried to chop. He
so
only allow some people like
he
Shawn
better
Michaels.
he better never go to AEW or Japan lah. If you don't want to chop.
Probably that's why he never went.
Yeah.
So I think Randy also the same issue, bro. He's like, maybe he must have told people, okay, I do not want to get chopped. If this Gunther guy wants to chop me, can only chop me 2-3 times only.
But why? Like, I don't understand why. Like, it hurts, I guess. Is that the reason?
Yeah, it's really a pain thing. Okay, like, okay, you can tolerate a backdrop, right? You can tolerate like like a slam to the body, but like a chop stings like crazy. It hurts at that moment. It really like legitimately hurts. So I think even Bret Hart also said, Bret Hart also not a fan of chops because he said it doesn't make sense because I mean from a performance point of view, you wanna hurt them but in a very dramatic over the top way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt the person. But the chop doesn't do anything but hurts the person. So,
that is actually the best argument to not chop people. There's actually, of course, it had to come from the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Of course, yes, he's absolutely sense, right. It's a performative move that actually hurts the person, and technically in the theater of it, doesn't actually knock anybody out. You're not going to knock somebody out with a chop to the chest.
Correct. Except when you do, it's a big deal. So if you watch this match, you see how Randy sold the chop?
Yeah.
He only took the chop 1-2 times, and then the second time he blocked it with his hand, then he showed anger.
Yep.
And then the one time that he really took it full on, he took a back bump.
Yeah, he took it like he just died from the chop, like he kinda shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, so that's how you sell a chop, not do a million.
Wait. Eddie Kingston, this is the Eddie Kingston special.
No, bro, that one is like you powdering up my titty, No.
Okay, that one. Okay, Eddie Kingston is the master of the titty slap. That's the titty slap.
He's not the titty master. He's a titty slapper. Yeah.
I think this was my second favorite match of the night. You can tell which is my favorite lah.
Okay, for sure. Okay, I mean this is my personal favorite because I'm a fan of both wrestlers.
So am I. Yeah.
And the way they wrestle this match makes so much sense for both their characters, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I loved everything about this match. One thing I didn't like about this match was the finish. You saw the finish, right?
Oh, okay. So there was a thing where like his shoulder was a bit up, right? So, okay, did they mean to do a cock up finish there?
That's the thing. I am scared to say that I think they botched it.
Oh,
like they did a Ronda and Becky situation.
Right. He was supposed to be down, but for whatever reason, his shoulder was up, and then nobody really noticed it except for the camera.
Bro, and the worst part is the referee was right there in front. The referee saw it. I know
Yeah.
for a fact the referee saw it, but the referee just counted because he know that this was supposed to be the finish. But
Yeah.
he could have just easily told Gunther, hey Gunther, you need to
Yeah.
bring him down, then he can count.
Yeah.
And that caused some controversy because if you realize, none of the commentators mentioned it except for Corey Grace very briefly, and he also just like breezed over it.
Yeah, he literally said, I want to take a look at that again or something like that. I want to have a look at that. And that's
And
it.
then
They just
nothing happened.
brushed off. Yeah, they moved on. I
But
saw...
I think Triple H, right? Say
Yeah.
something. Sorry,
Did
Lucy.
he? Like, I was about to say that because I saw on social media a link, but I didn't click it lah. That,
Yeah, so
Triple H
Triple H
addressed
did
it.
address it. I think somebody asked it as an exclusive. That point blank asked him up front. The shoulders were clearly off the mat. Is there gonna be a way to resolve this, right? And I think Triple H said that I think they both wrestlers should get a chance to have a rematch so that Randy can have a legitimate claim to fight for it, and Gunther can remove this asterisk from
Right.
his win. So
Well,
I do not know whether they're gonna do a rematch with the crown on the line.
I don't know about that.
Because
If anything...
it's like VAR, right? It's like it's
Yeah.
done. It sucks. We know it wasn't supposed to be a goal, but the match has ended. We're not gonna repeat the
Yeah.
match.
But the beautiful thing is, this is wrestling. They can spin it into a story. They can spin it off into you didn't win.
Bro,
That was not legit.
Gun-
Blah blah blah.
Bro, Gunther Randy rematch at Clash at the Castle. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I'm all for that.
Go for it.
Okay, let's go to the main event. You got Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul. I mean, this entire match was like, you knew exactly who was going to win. There was no doubt, right? Like, there's no point. At no point did it ever seem like Logan Paul was going to win. Even though they tried to tease it, like, in your heart, did you ever think that Logan Paul was going to win?
No, for sure, no. But that's not the point of the match. I don't
No.
even think that was the point of the match.
Okay,
Bro,
I know the criticism, right, is that right now Cody as champion very boring. But that's only because he hasn't really been involved in a long-term storyline. It's like he just came off a long-term 1-year storyline, right?
Yeah.
So do we need to speed him into another big drama? Or is it, let him just hold the title and cook for a bit?
Let the big storyline come at SummerSlam, like a major show.
Mm.
Like, I don't mind having him having a one-off challenges throughout the summer, like Clash at the Castle can have a one-off match, Money in the Bank, and then have that big blow-off. But the thing is, right, there's no Rock yet, no Roman yet. There's very few people that can have that long-term big storyline with him, and to me, Randy Orton is one of them. But Randy Orton is like doing great work as a babyface, so I don't want him to turn heel so fast.
Yep.
So I do not know who's going to be that guy, but I think as of now, it makes sense for him to pad out his reign, have multiple victories first before he goes into that big storyline.
Talk about how when they initially had the promo, remember it was a bit of a confusing promo. Is it title for title? And then they finally, quote unquote, clarified it on social media. But then the very next week on SmackDown, Logan's like, no, this is not the contract I want. Their contract say, no, this is only for the World Heavyweight Champion, the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
So was that them trying to get themselves out of a poorly executed promo?
I don't know about whether it was intended to do so, but I know what Logan did was classic 80s heel wrestling 101. Like JJ Dillon, Tully Blanchard would have done that, right?
It's like
I never agreed to it. I have my own lawyers,
No, Logan, like, I know a lot of people hate Logan Paul because of his YouTube stuff. But as a wrestling performer, is he not just the absolute most natural person?
Yeah, did WWE stumble into this? He literally stumbled into a star.
Like, exactly. And he is like the perfect person as a WWE superstar. He is, whether you like him or hate him, and a lot of people hate him, so he's a perfect heel. He has the acting and he knows how to, like, there are people in the company that have worked there for years and years that don't have the charisma, the promo skill, the athleticism that he has. That kind of blows my mind.
Ricochet.
Why are you so bad? Single out Ricochets, yeah.
No, because when you say it, like, okay, athleticism, he has, like Logan Paul. But everything that you just said, know how to do it, the camera knows how to promote, it's literally him, what?
Yeah, yeah. No, and not just that, but he knows how to do things for social media in the social media age. I must say it right now, mark the date down on your calendar, 28th of May 2024. Logan Paul might be the perfect wrestler for this generation, in this media space right now.
Bro, he as a world champion, I think will take things to the next level.
Yeah.
Did you see? I think he posted on, I think Instagram, like a screenshot of a WhatsApp message that he gave to Triple H.
Yeah.
Saw that, right?
He
So
was the
apparently
one
he
who
had,
pitched that drone shot that he said like this is going to go super viral. And I think it hit like 4 million views or something like that.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but bro, he was the one that pitched it. So this was his idea. This was his creative, and
Yeah.
nobody in WWE, in the history of WWE, have ever thought of using a drone shot, 360 shot to do a frog splash. I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah, and
So
it's one of those moments that will live in like the highlight reel forever, you know? Like anytime you have a Logan Paul highlight reel, that shot's going to be there.
yeah, and I don't know drone shots can be so stable. I mean, I don't do filming and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it looks so stable, but it's literally the thing flying like out of control. So I don't know how you do it. I don't know. Do you have
Bro,
a tech?
you obviously have a controller. He flies the drone around him while like the timing has to be perfect too. And here's the other thing too. When I say that he is the perfect person for this era, right? It's also serendipitous because of the timing of the technology, of the fact that WWE is now together with UFC, and UFC has done the drone thing before, but on a static scale, right? So now they have the scale and the money and the technology. It's everything combined into this perfect. This is a flash in a you know what I mean? This is like lightning in a bottle, not flash in a pan. Lightning in a bottle, and they've captured it with Logan Paul.
Bro, this is like levels of world class, talents coming together at the right time. It's just everything come together.
And if anything, right, other wrestlers are gonna see this and be like, shit, I also need some cool ass moments. So now everyone's gonna get their brains working. The gears are gonna turn. Oh, what kind of cool spot can I do, to work into my match? And this will elevate the industry in terms of how it can be presented.
Yeah. Bro, but beyond that, right? I feel like, what Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul did to me was like Logan Paul proved that he's always been like a big time main eventer. Like the way he wrestles is like a main eventer. But Cody Rhodes brought out a great wrestling match out of him. Like they were doing some great amateur wrestling and like gave him a lot more street cred.
Yeah, for sure. Like even though, okay, at this point, him holding the US title is a bit like, I feel like he's outgrown the US title, Logan Paul.
Really, like a vanity. It's more like a vanity title at this point.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's elevating the US title per se. I think he will elevate the next person to win it, when he finally does drop it. But yeah, right now, I don't know, man. Like, watching this match.
Sorry, you know who he should drop it to, right? The guy that was at the front row before the match.
Front row before the match. Who?
Braun. If you were watching the match, they were showing a couple of wrestlers that was in the crowd.
Was it Braun Breaker?
No, bro. He was there, bro.
Who?
LA Knight, bro.
Oh, yeah.
LA Knight. LA Knight has to be that guy. LA Knight, Logan Paul, SummerSlam, Cleveland. I think that should be the way.
There you go. Yeah. Isn't Logan... no, not Logan. Isn't Logan Paul originally from Cleveland?
Yeah. The whole show is going to be built around him.
Correct. Oh my God. Dude, he... Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay, so
you
just
were saying something. You was
just going back to the match, right? Oh, I was actually wanting to bring up when we were talking about improving, your shots and how you present the thing. Even AEW has taken a few like new drone shots, new panning shots that during Double or Nothing, I was like, oh, okay. So they've upped their game as well. So this sort of innovation
to the entire industry for sure.
Yes, this innovation always helps. Because everyone's going to see it and go, that's cool, let's try it out for ourselves. And it betters the product as a whole, right? Some things don't, but we'll get to Double or Nothing in just a bit. Once again, going back to this from a storyline perspective, and maybe as people who have watched this business for so long, we were like, yeah, there's no way Cody's going to lose here, right? But as a match, I enjoyed the match. There was the whole thing about, is Cody supposed to be like using the vertebraker as his finisher now or something? I don't know.
So the vertebraker was the interesting thing because I didn't even know it was supposed to be like a dangerous,
Yeah.
move that is banned or something. But like they build it up like it was a big deal.
Yeah, they did. And even if you don't really watch wrestling in general, I think the way they sold it and the way the commentators talked about it made that move seem like it's like what Ospreay is doing with his Tiger Driver lah,
The Tiger Driver.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
but not so obvious that they're not, making that sort of the focus.
As a match, right? Do you think this was better than AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes?
Ooh. I think it was different. I think with AJ and Cody, those were two seasoned vets going at it. This one is still Cody leading Logan, but Logan is up there. Like I said, like to me, it's insane how quickly he took to the industry, to the gig.
Yeah. The very funny thing, I think I was like kind of paying attention to the storyline, right? There was this one part where Cody could have won by count out. But then Cody said no. Then he said he has to learn. I think that was the spot that led directly to that awesome frog splash, right?
Yeah.
It felt like a teachable moment.
Yes, it did.
Felt like the whole point of this match was Cody Rhodes trying to teach, like Logan Paul, okay, there are levels to this. This is the level you need to reach if you want to be world champion at my level. So I like that story because it doesn't make Cody like a chump, like he feels like a big deal champion, throwing the ropes to like a young kid who is impressive, but at the end of the day, the experience warms up.
And also, Cody is such a throwback champion. He's he's hammed it up even more than before. When he comes out, he's smiling. He's literally hugging, shaking hands, and kissing babies. And he's shaking the hand of the referee. He does things super respectfully. Like, we haven't had a champion like that.
The Arabic commentator's hand.
Yeah, he go and like smile everybody. Oh, talking about the Saudi connection. So the Saudi celebrity, I'm not sure who that person is, but he's a very famous comedian, I think. He was the one who got involved when Logan Paul was doing his shenanigans, helped Cody Rhodes win after the ref bump and everything. It was very funny because like my dad was watching this match with me as well, and he was like, always with the ref bump, right? Because this is such a trope. Even in the 80s, you had ref bumps and the bad guys going to do stupid things and
So did your dad like enjoy Logan Paul or like enjoy the main event?
Oh yeah, he thought that this Logan Paul was super like young and athletic. Like, wow, who is this guy? I told him that Cody Rhodes was the son of Dusty Rhodes. He's like, oh yeah, he remembers him.
Oh, so he remembers Dusty Rhodes?
That's great. He remembers Dusty Rhodes. So
yeah.
I enjoyed the two matches. The rest just kind of was like, The opener was the most disappointing to me.
Yeah, but overall, like the 3 hours passed by really, really fast. I know they've been doing 5 matches recently, but
very
like these
enjoyable.
5 matches didn't feel like a slog.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I would give this though generally upon 10. I think this is a solid 7.5. 7? Nah, I'll go with 7. Because
will you say that Backlash was better?
Ooh. I think Backlash is an anomaly because of the crowd. The crowd made everything better. This one, there were good wrestling matches except for the first one, but storyline-wise, not a lot progressed. Like we, alluded to earlier, right at the start of our review, it really does feel like this is, the early steps in a journey. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like the stakes weren't as high. Yeah, you had the crowning of the King and Queen of the Ring, and those were big steps, but it didn't feel like culminations of stories. It felt like starts of stories.
And also I feel like the thing about King and Queen of the Ring is that we've always made fun that like, Saudi shows are not important, or like it's visible. But at least now there's stakes to it, right? Like I think the addition of the King or the Queen of the Ring being able to challenge for the title, that suddenly made us want to watch the show, pay attention to the show.
Yeah.
So like I can't say enough good things about what WWE is doing right now with their PLEs, their storylines. So I've been enjoying this streak that WWE has been on since I don't know how long. Like it has all been good pay-per-views.
Yeah. It's been good, but it's been kind of like, okay, once again, coming off of WrestleMania, obviously nothing can compare, right? So I think it does suffer a little bit from that whole, like, once again, to make a Marvel analogy, I feel like King and the Queen of the Ring was like Shang-Chi. It was a really good movie, but how to compare to Endgame? It's kind of like The Marvels. It was a good movie, but a lot of people didn't watch it because of fatigue, you know?
They have to start building up into something different that people will forget about WrestleMania 40. But unfortunately, the only way people can forget about WrestleMania 40 is they're gonna have a new story, the Bloodline.
Yeah,
to me, the Bloodline
correct.
is the thing that will make people forget.
But thank goodness the weekly television shows are watchable.
Yeah.
And with that said, let's talk about the other company with the unwatchable weekly show.
We can all agree that their weekly shows are the thing that is dragging them down, but their pay-per-views still deliver to a certain extent.
Well, before we jump into the review of AEW Double or Nothing, let's give a shout out once again to our lovely sponsors, Miraj Advisory. Oh, I gotta love a bunch of friends and fellow fans of pro wrestling supporting each other, right? They know we love wrestling. They're helping to support our love for wrestling as well. So guys, do us a favor, head to their Instagram page and drop them a follow as well. They are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. There you go. Go there, hit follow. I already hit, so I cannot hit again.
Bro, they have already proven their wrestling street cred. They were there for SPW Ignition. They definitely want to catch a few more local shows, and they are investing in the pro wrestling community in Singapore through us, through their sponsorship with us, and we want to reward them. So, like, guys, if we are able to raise our profile and our standing in the community is thanks to them. So give them a shout out back.
Absolutely. All right, AEW Double or Nothing. I will say this. Let's start this off on a good note, right?
Bro, wait, do you actually download and pay the $30+
Yes,
dollars?
I paid $35 and watched this, so I feel very justified in what I have to say. I actually paid my hard-earned money. I sat there in Tan Tock Seng Hospital with my dad. He didn't watch all of it. He was like, being distracted. And this was too freaking long. Look, okay, here's the thing. If you, from a value, let's start this off on a positive. For a value perspective, from a value perspective, if you pay $35, you get 4.5 hours of content. That's good value, right? You can't argue that,
Yeah.
If you get value out of seeing an attempted murder, then sure, that's good value.
Yeah. Well, okay. Can I start with a positive? I want to say something that's positive. Right?
Hey, I already said something positive, bro.
I mean, it was a very double-edged positive comment. Let's just be honest.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel more than even WWE, I think AEW offers the biggest buffet of wrestling styles on a pay-per-view. Like for better or worse, they really give you everything. So it's like if you're a fan of one thing, you will definitely find something that you like.
Yes, that's a very good point. So I want to give you a very apt analogy. I just thought about it in my head, right? Not planned. Think about food. AEW, like you said, is the buffet. You got rendang section, you got sushi section, you got Chinese food, you got Indian food, Malay food, everything.
You got the Asian section.
Yeah, you eat until you want to vomit. That's what you do when you go buffet, correct? And we all love a buffet once in a while. And then you have the WWE, which is omakase. They give you, they handcraft each meal for you. Not too much. They don't overbook it. They don't overcook it, right?
Overbook it. I see what you did there.
But they give you just enough so that you want to come back for more, and you enjoy each course as it is. So to me, that's the difference right now. Omakase versus buffet. And it's not like, some people love omakase. Some people think it's nonsense. Some people love buffets. Some people think it's a giant waste of space and bad for your health.
I mean, I'm sure we both of us have had like our experiences with fine dining and a bit more of like a 3-course meal, those little things. One thing I realized, all these atas places, right, they never give you too much food. They give you just the right amount of food, spread out against the 3 courses. You know what I mean?
No, that's exactly it, right? That's the quote unquote best way to enjoy it. Because if you have too much, it will overload the senses. And that's exactly what happened here at Double or Nothing. That is exactly. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Wait, before we get into it, like I've realized that we haven't really acknowledged the viewers on the chat because I can't see the chat. So are they talking about anything related to the
Okay, so Tovakin says typical Tony Khan overbooking. Jason says AEW time, interested to hear if Mr. Young will rate higher than foreign this time. Because actually, if you think about the last few podcasts, right, the last few AEW events, I've actually rated AEW higher than you.
Yes.
It is part. Yeah, it is part of my very concerted effort to erase the image or the reputation that I'm an AEW hater. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Because I always give my ratings first. We never pack out one.
And you have stopped watching the AEW Dynamite shows after you really gave up.
It's just really not watchable. To be fair, I stopped Dynamite. I've never started with Collision or Rampage.
But you did watch Collision during the CM Punk days, right?
I did. That's true. Once again, like if you came into this watching this as it is, I think it was a good. It was good for what it was if you could split this show into two. Okay, let's go match my batch. I enjoyed the hell out of Will Ospreay, Roderick Strong. I think these two, it was a great match to start the pay-per-view. I think they wrestled their ass off. There are certain moves, certain sequences and risks they didn't need to take.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know if you remember, the Undisputed Kingdom had
they did like a doomsday device.
Yeah, and he didn't clear the top rope quite enough or something like that. And it looked very dangerous. And the stupid thing is...
it was Ospreay landed on his head.
Yeah, pretty much. But see, that's not the thing too. It was a dangerous spot and it was a stupid spot because of the stupid referee. It is the bald fella, I don't know his name.
Bryce Remsburg.
Bryce Remsburg, who is there talking to the other fella who's distracting, right? One guy bounces off the rope and you cannot see. What the hell? Bro, what are you doing?
The logic not there.
My God. So yeah, that was a dangerous spot for no reason and the referee looked like a jackass in that spot. I hated that spot so much.
I know exactly what you're talking about and I felt like that should have been the climax of the match that led to the final sequence, not the starting part. I mean, that was also a big issue. Actually, the starting part, there were some things that they did was quite cool. You know the one where Will Ospreay ran on the outside and jump on the chair, flip to the outside to take out the Undisputed Kingdom.
Yes.
That should have been the thing that takes them out and they are not part of the show anymore.
Yeah. We've often said this. They have the talents with a bit of direction and control. Once again, buffet versus omakase versus curated meal, right? With a bit of control, I think this would have been a really great... It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I think they're really strong wrestlers. I think that Will Ospreay winning the International Championship, I mean, they needed to because he's one of the new, big signings. Yeah. They tried to do it with Okada, but that's another story.
Can we also give props to Roderick Strong?
Yep.
To me, right, this is the first time I've seen NXT Roderick Strong in AEW.
Yeah, I think this is better than NXT Roderick Strong. I don't know if it's the mustache, maybe give him more personality, but he, to me, feels like he's improved in that.
I'm glad that we got out of the back of the whole Adam all the freaking all that shit. That was great character work for what it was. But I think after that experience, I feel like now he's a very confident heel. It's something that he wasn't in Diamond Mine.
Yes, I think what it is that it gave him the opportunity to come out of his shell. Maybe in the NXT days, he was always one of the 4 Undisputed Era. He was just one of the guys. Adam Cole was always the lead guy. For that moment, he got to sort of break out of his shell and for, to the betterment of him as a character.
Yeah. So I like how actually Roderick was presented in this match. And Will Ospreay, I mean, I can't deny it, he is a star. He has the star aura in AEW, especially in AEW when there's not a lot of stars. He stands out. And actually he's one of we all agree that he's actually the best received signing out of the 3. Right?
Yeah. So unfortunately, unfortunately, what was a really good match was kind of muddled by ton of overbooking at the end.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
it could have been as simple as Will Ospreay doing that move to take out the Undisputed Era, goes in, wins the title. I'm not sure. I'm a bit not sure about this whole like he's showing concern. Like, are they overdoing this whole he's showing concern thing? Like, I get it for the Tiger Driver, but this time I think he hit an Oz cutter and then, you know, the ref was checking on him. He's like, oh, and then, you know, you had Don Callis come out and say, no, hit him with it. Like, does he need this?
I do not know whether they're overthinking it. And also, you mentioned Don Callis. Don Callis is still by his side. And even though he's clearly a babyface.
It's okay. So it's this is irritating the hell out of me, right? Like you said, Don Callis is a heel with a heel stable with Will Ospreay who's trying to do the good thing. So you can argue that, Will originally tried to side with Don, but Will is now having a crisis of conscience and he's trying to be a good guy, right? But then you also have Don Callis trying to court Orange Cassidy, who's a face. And talking good things about Orange Cassidy. Like, how does any of this make sense?
Yeah, I feel like the problem is we haven't established what is Don Kelly's MO in building this family. Because right now he always say, I want to build this family, but like, who has he elevated in the family? Because I don't think Carl Fletcher has been elevated.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just a very weird, like, this whole thing muddies it. Will Ospreay, the sooner that Will Ospreay breaks away from Don Callis and becomes a solo guy, international champion with a heart, blah, 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 whatever, the better for him. He needs to get away from this Don Callis right away.
Yeah. Will Ospreay needs to have that homecoming in London, needs to be like the baby face hero. Like, that's what he is right now. And I feel it's great. You know why? Because they need big time faces, baby faces in the company beyond just Swerve. Because I mean, Swerve is it's gonna be like a anti-hero or like a tweener.
Yeah.
But like a pure baby face, I think they need more of those.
And he has the charisma, bruv, to pull it off. And he has the in-ring work as well. And that's the other thing I realized. Roderick Strong slowed him down. It was very, very reminiscent of the match against Brian Danielson, who also slowed him down. Yeah, there were a few moments of flippy, but not too much, right? I really enjoyed this match. It was a great way to start the show. And then you had the overbooking at the end, but they did it so that they could bring out Adam Cole Baby for the big return.
Yes, we finally saw 2002 Triple H return.
I know. The second he came out, I was like, I've seen this look before. Okay. Is it weird? I know a lot of people are complaining about it, but was it weird that they did this segment as the second, like after the first match, instead of the first or middle or the end or whatever?
Bro, this was my biggest gripe with this entire sequence. Like, to me, my opinion, honest opinion, bro, they wasted an MJF return. They wasted it. They wasted it completely.
See, here's the thing, right? You could have boosted Dynamite numbers by having MJF return, but not cutting promo.
What do you mean by that?
So, you can have MJF come in to do the shenanigans, to do the physical stuff with Adam Cole, right? Which is what he did. But don't cut the promo. Immediately leave.
For Dynamite.
Yeah, and then you can advertise MJF returns to Dynamite. What does he have to say? That's where you boost your freaking... See, even we know this and we are just but observers. How does Tony Khan not realize that is what he doesn't care about the TV ratings? It's not important to him. He just wants... Because you see...
They already sold the pay-per-view, bro. There's no need to... They wasted it.
Exactly. The pay-per-view... And... Like, even if this pay-per-view gets 150,000, it's not the 600, 700, 800,000 that he could potentially get by saving it. No, he has to shoot his load. Oh!
You see,
That's the sound he makes when he shoots his load. Oh!
What? Okay, never mind. Okay, let's be honest, right? First of all, they completely butchered the whole Devil storyline, right? Because... both parties got injured. Both parties are injured, right?
Yeah.
Your MJF was injured, who screwed it up. The moment he took time off, the whole thing just died.
Yep.
You have Adam Cole being revealed as the devil when he's still injured and hasn't been cleared.
Yeah.
And only now has been cleared. So I feel like, my opinion, they rushed this whole thing, this whole thing that happened on the show, because I think they wanted to move on from the devil storyline. I think they are like, okay, I'm done with this devil shit.
Yeah.
It was botched from the moment it was supposed to happen. Let's fucking move on. Okay, I
Yep.
get that. They wanted to get that out of the way. Problem is, Adam Cole is not featured in any big storylines in Double or Nothing,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
Other than this, okay, fine. Roderick Strong versus Will
See,
Ospreay.
so that is probably their reasoning for doing this when they did it, because Adam Cole would come out for Roderick Strong because they friend. Yeah, so that was the reason, lor. That was their logic.
But bro, you have MJF, their biggest star in the company. Shouldn't he appear at the end of the show at the main event, right?
You know
Okay,
you know why, right? Because the main event was going to be, I mean, spoiler alert, but you guys know this already. But the main event was won by the heels, and to your point, like, oh my, and that's exactly, you've just highlighted the biggest lost opportunity. MJF could have come in and saved AEW, saved Team AEW in Anarchy in the Arena. Freaking Darby Allin was hanging, and then Bryan Danielson like half dead, and FTR disappeared. MJF could have saved AEW. Heroes return, right?
Yeah.
And then what will he say? Watch Dynamite. But no, because they wanted to book the Bucks and the Elite to win. So he had to do this in the second match.
Bro, first of all, right? Remember when Adam Cole first joined AEW?
Yeah.
Wasn't they aligned with the Elite? It was the Undisputed Elite. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then Adam Cole became a good guy, blah blah blah. But then Adam Cole, remember, was also part of like the Better Than You baby, and then they were like dissension with the Elite because they were like, why you choose him over us? Correct?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they tie that whole storyline back to Adam Cole now that he become a heel, align himself with the new Elite, and then MJF can return?
You know why, right? Because MJF is smart. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the Young Bucks and the Elite. No, I think he's smart enough to realize that shit is poison. So he's like, okay, never mind. I will work a deal. I'll do this thing with Adam Cole because he probably likes working with Adam Cole. Adam Cole is not the problem. It's the Elite that's the problem. And it just so happens that Adam Cole and the Elite, like, they are friend, whatever, right? So yeah, that's probably it. You know?
Okay, given all the things that we know, like in context, right? Do you still think this was the right move to have him appear on the end of the first match, second segment?
No, I still don't think it's right, but it's the best that we got given the shitty booking and shitty circumstance, you know? And the fact that we got him back is great already.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm in the camp that I wish he went to WWE. The tattoo.
Bro, did he fuck himself over by having that tattoo?
I'm sorry, but the tattoo looks a bit like, did you get this while you were drunk?
Do you feel that it was like a stick on?
Yeah. I was like, I think it's a stick on, bro. He cannot like have like really, you know what? Whatever. You know, he could very well get a WWE tattoo in 5 years' time when he leaves.
Okay,
it's not a big deal.
To be honest, I appreciate the sentiment on the tattoo. He said bet on yourself. And that's why he chose AEW, right?
Yeah.
Because he feels that maybe in AEW he can truly be MJF. Right? I like that. And I think, you know, in my opinion, MJF playing for the other party makes the other party watchable. So at least there's two legitimate, credible people like promotions that where there are stars that you want to watch for. So to me, the moment MJF goes to WWE, AEW died, in my opinion.
Yeah. True. Well, I mean, but then again, we look, and as we go through this as well, we'll see actually there are a lot of really talented guys and gals here. It's just the weekly show doesn't. Yeah, it is. Oh my god.
Last question before we move on from MJF, because I'm sure we're gonna talk about him a lot in the next coming weeks. Do you feel like the promo that he cut signifies a return to a heel MJF, or is it like a vengeful babyface MJF?
I think it'll be an anti-hero. Like like an Austin, right? But he's a more like Triple H, dude. He's straight up channeling Triple H with the outfit and everything. I think he will be like that Triple H, where he was a babyface, but he was a babyface with an edge. He's he's a scumbag, but it's a scumbag we love.
He's still the good guy.
No, he's not a good guy. He's a scumbag, but he's a scumbag that people like.
Yeah, the promo he cut, definitely he was shitting on the fans. That's what I was
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah.
But he's being positioned to fight Adam Cole, or I don't know whether he's gonna fight Adam Cole. But the point is, he is still on the baby face side of the things,
Yeah,
fighting
yeah,
against
yeah.
him.
Is Adam Cole even cleared? Like, I'm sorry, when he stood next to MJF, Adam Cole looked like a child.
Bro, he took that final cutter or some shit like that. So I don't know. I really
Like
don't know because
he took a brain buster, right? It was a brain buster.
yeah, he took a brainbuster and he took a brainbuster and he's technically walking without a crutch. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming he's okay already. So are they gonna pull the trigger on a match? I don't know.
I mean, they have to blow it off, but honestly, I'm a fan of Adam Cole. Honestly, he's just like everybody who's come over the AEW, they've cooled down so significantly. I don't really care about that match.
Bro, I don't know, bro. I think his physique definitely is not the same. That even in NXT, he was in shape. Like he was
Yeah.
toned.
Yeah. No, he looked downright skinny. He looked like me, skinny, and that's saying something.
Oh dear God. I mean, whatever it is, lah. But I think everyone can agree we're happy MJF is
Yep.
back.
Yep.
MJF will definitely bring out ratings for sure. But what a wasted opportunity. They should have saved that promo for Dynamite.
Yep. Let's talk about the next match. The Gang Bang Gang versus the Death Triangle. Okay. This match should have been on Dynamite. I didn't think it was a horrible match. It's your typical Death Triangle flippy shit match. If you like that kind of stuff, you'll probably have enjoyed this match. I think, you know who Jay White sounds like to me now? He sounds like the Taika Waititi. You know Korg from the MCU?
Oh yeah. Taika Waititi.
Yeah, and he makes like...
Letter, though.
Yeah, exactly. So they have the same accent, and then the way he speaks, the cadence, I'm like, okay, have him just say one or two lines. I think that's the best way to present Jay White. Austin and Colton Gunn look like cocky mofos, so that's perfect for them as heels. And then now you got the return of Juice Robinson.
The thing is, right, like one thing that the commentator said in the match, I didn't even realize. This is actually the first time Death Triangle has teamed up together in a year since the whole Death Triangle and Young Bucks series.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Young Bucks?
But
So,
who
bro,
cares? But who cares, bro?
to be honest,
Like that's the
right,
thing. Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I didn't even care because like I think they need to take 5 years off. Like they don't need to be together anymore.
And also they probably just realized it on the day. Honestly, their booking is so last minute. They probably just realized, hey, actually these three haven't teamed up together for a while. Like, let's just mention it. Like it's not part of the storyline. It's not anything, built up.
Bro, Jay White versus what do you call it? Jay White versus Park would have been a better match, straight up match. Okay, one thing good, like you just mentioned, alluded to earlier, the great thing about this whole thing is that Juice Robinson is back.
Yes,
I love Juice Robinson. He's the best.
So now we have 4 versus 3, and what does this mean? Death Triangle need to become Death Square lah to even the odds. So they'll have bangers on Collision, I'm sure.
Yeah. When are they gonna combine the titles together? Because all of them are, I know it's unified, but they're carrying all 6 titles everywhere they go. Like a bit too much.
But bro, this is AEW. There's no such thing as too much. People will walk on the scene with 3 fucking belts, and they're all the same belt. This is AEW. There's no such thing as too much. Remember, this is buffet land we're talking about. They will whack.
Let's play a game. As we talk about the matches, right? Let's talk about which match can have been saved for Dynamite, which match should have stayed on the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Let's do
this.
So this
should have been on Dynamite.
Yeah,
because honestly, if they trim out, all the matches that we are going to say that should have been on Dynamite, if they trim it out, I think it would have been a really good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
okay.
Okay, so keep Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong.
Oh yes, as opener, yes.
Throughout this trios match. Okay,
yes, throughout the trios match, I'm not convinced that trios should be a thing. I still am not convinced. They can barely get their tag team straight, let alone trios. If you have a solid tag team division, then you come and talk to me about trios. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Timeless Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb. Ooh. As much as I respect the two workers as workers, this could have been a Dynamite main event. I would argue that you already had the Money match. You didn't need this match.
I agree, actually. If you had to put gun to my head and say, like, okay, you can only choose one women's match, I would have kept the Willow and Money match. And this match could be on Dynamite. And the thing is, okay, you saw the pre-match promo, right?
Mm.
They had a vignette and they talk about, how Serena was like a inspirational comeback, blah blah blah, fighting for my life. But she sounded like she was cutting an MMA promo,
Yeah.
and then Tony Storm was like all character and
Yeah. So
all
it's
deep.
very
It was such a bad clash.
yeah, and not only is it a bad clash, it's a very weird thing because, like you said, Serena Deeb is supposed to be the comeback, almost died story, and people are booing her, and people are cheering Tony Storm. So you have a very weird, like I don't know if it's the audience or Serena Deeb just didn't cut a very good promo. Like
No, it's Tony Storm is beloved by AEW fans,
yeah,
and Serena Deeb hasn't been on TV enough for people
yeah,
to get invested because every time she does get on TV, it's like
yeah.
one-offs, championship title defenses, and that's it.
I I think the thing with Serena Deeb also is she's a really good in-ring worker, but she's not great on the mic. She reminds me of like a Molly Holly in that era. Like you know that she'll put on a good match, but like her promo.
But she will not be the top star.
No. So that's why this match to me was very like they need to turn Tony Storm. Her gimmick is so over the top, right? That like the audience can't help but I go along with her bullshit. So she's become de facto babyface, and they need to realize this and work with it because now they've made Serena Deeb a heel, even though she's a face.
Unless they have a more established character going up against Tony Storm, everyone's gonna pale in comparison.
Yeah, like
So,
who's a heel? Like is very obvious heel. Who's very obvious heel female in
well,
AEW.
I do not know whether she's a heel yet, but I think Mercedes Monday would have been very, very interesting.
Okay, so at some point, you need Luther and Mariah May to turn on Timeless Tony Storm. That has to be the end game so that Mariah can be
is
the
one
heel.
that is the bad girl.
Yes, and then Tony Storm, because they are like best friend. But then Mariah May is busy going having lesbian kiss with some girl, and whatever lah. It's a big. Once again,
Tough.
try not to put logic to their booking.
But Tony Storm in this gimmick is been almost half a year, more than that. Like, do you feel that it's still going strong?
I see. The thing is, like, I enjoy the promos,
Yeah.
but only because I watch it once a month on pay-per-view. I don't watch it weekly anymore. I would assume that watching it weekly would get tiring, which it was while I was watching Dynamite. So once again,
I get what you mean.
I didn't hate the match, but I hated the dynamics of the match, the positions the two ladies were in because of their flip-flop. At one point, I think Serena was like, fuck it, I'm a heel. And she started like flipping and stuff like that, flipping bird, right? So she leaned into it, but it hurts the storytelling. This match should have been on TV. Yeah.
I agree. Okay,
Oh,
so
talking about like TV matches. Oh my God. Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta.
Bro, not just a TV match. This can be a Rampage main event. That's the level. That's the level this should have been on.
But you see, here's the thing, right? To them, and this is a very insular thing too, to that small community, this is a big deal because the best friends has been a thing since the start. But the problem is, it's such our thing, but everybody else looking in is like, what the fuck is this shit?
No, but I blame them. I blame AEW for not making best friends so compelling or they're popular from the start, but like they couldn't carry that momentum so that when this thing eventually happened, there was no reaction, right?
Yeah. So Orange Cassidy did get the blow-off win against Trent Beretta. To be honest, I would have rather Trent Beretta win. Trent needs the win. He's like the only one out of that group that looks like he could have a potential in, cracking.
He got the look, he got the physique.
Yeah.
Can wrestle, but for some reason, Orange Cassidy is the star.
We all know it's a joke at this point. Tony Khan's favorite wrestler is Orange Cassidy.
I actually really like Orange Cassidy, like style of wrestling. Like I actually enjoy it, but he is the most winningest wrestler in AEW, which doesn't sit right to me.
Nope, it does not. But it is what it is, lah.
Okay, if they book him like R-Truth, I think it's fine.
Yes. But a different type. Like R-Truth is more in your face, hee hee ha ha. Orange Cassidy is more laid back.
Which is a place for it, right, in wrestling, but not to the extent that you devalue your other main eventers. Yeah.
But
if
Tony
you were to
Khan,
win the title, wow, that's rubber already.
But TK is all about that. So Yeah, there you go.
I
We will talk about TK in just a bit. Chris Jericho versus Hook versus Shibata.
Okay, TV match, skip on the pay-per-view. Your thoughts?
Okay, personally, like as my heart says keep this on TV, but my head says Chris Jericho still got some name. It is part of. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I thought this match was dog shit. It was.
I mean, the moment they roll up the dices, right? They make it like thumbtacks. I'm like,
No, and then at the end you had this new guy, the hired assassin, whatever. When he revealed himself, I'm like, who is this fella? I know he's the fella.
Brian Keith.
Keith. What was it? Brian Keith?
Yeah.
Apparently
because
he was involved with Shibata and Hook to qualify, right?
Yeah, the qualifier man. The thing about him is that he's the bounty hunter. And I know they haven't kind of explained it, but I think that's where they're gonna go. They're gonna say that, oh, Chris Jericho paid him off.
But like, who is he? You know, like
This is the problem. I think this is just Chris Jericho saying, you know what, I'm gonna elevate all four people just by having them in a ring with me.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
like,
right, yeah,
no, you're not.
that's the problem, right? Like, I think that is the fundamental problem with Chris Jericho. He thinks he's elevating people just by working nonsense with them, but he's not, because he's devalued himself in such a way where, okay, you know what? I take it back. This should have been on TV.
No, the thing is, right, if the whole storyline is supposed to be Hook and Chris Jericho, make it about Hook and Chris Jericho, make Hook the center of attention. But now you're giving Shibata to take the pinfall, you give Brian, you give all these distractions. It's taking away from Hook.
Yep. No, and well,
So-
Chris, see, that's the thing. Chris Jericho has made it about himself. Learning
Yes.
tree, big cast, you know?
And then like, people say like, oh, he's reinventing himself because he took all the people telling him to go home, go away, and then he made it into a storyline. But there's a difference between that and like people really want you to go away.
Yeah, it's
It's not
kind of
like-
sad.
It's not for you to reinvent, it's for you to take a break.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
He
I
used to
would,
know how to do this in WWE though. That's a question. That's the thing.
well, it was maybe Vince telling him, hey, you're getting stale. You need to go away for a while.
I don't know. I don't know why he can't like detach himself from it. Take 6 months off,
Yeah.
Do what Miro does.
The Miro
like
is just like getting paid and not doing shit all. He is the best life right now. Jason says foreign and young.
Living in Bulgaria, not doing anything.
Jason says foreign and young hating on heel Jericho match. Target achieved. No, there's a difference. There's a difference between wanting to see somebody get beat, that's real heat, versus not wanting to see him at all. You know, I would not pay money to see Chris Jericho get beat. I don't want to see him at all. Unfortunately.
There was this funny story like in 2020 or something when there was like a big NBA game 6 lead in,
Yeah.
and then like the next episode was Dynamite.
Yeah.
And I think Dynamite built up that whole thing like a big deal because I think they booked I can't remember what they booked, but they booked Chris Jericho in a big spot.
Yes.
And then I think this was the first time millions of basketball fans would have been seeing Chris Jericho since his WWE days. And I remember the comment on the Twitter section was like, what the fuck happened to Chris Jericho? Why he become so fat? Like,
Yeah.
that's the reaction from all these NBA fans who have never seen
Yeah,
AEW.
I
or,
remember.
Like, they know Chris Jericho, but probably they remember him from like the Attitude Era. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to this guy?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like, there's no reason why Chris Jericho should even be on TV.
Yeah. It's not even about the, like, you know, he's not in shape or whatever. It's like his ideas are just, you know, this whole thing is just like, it's cringe is what it is. So, hi. Okay, let's move on. And I didn't think this was a bad match. In fact, for a Jon Moxley match, I thought it was all right. You know,
So you will keep this on pay-per-view.
I would have kept this on pay-per-view. Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. I didn't like the finish because
Okay, bro. I figured it out. I know why you say you like this match.
Why?
Because for the first time ever, Jon Moxley was selling in the match.
And he wasn't Crimson masking it.
He wasn't cruiser masking. He wasn't like unbeatable. He wasn't like someone punching me like no
Yeah,
effect.
yeah.
He was actually selling because of his injury. So
I just hate the fact that he didn't put, like, there was no putting over of Takeshita Moxley is established already. Takeshita is a guy that's up and coming who has all the potential in the world. He needs a marquee win.
Yeah, bro, imagine Takeshita get the tainted win or like, roll out with the ropes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then he can actually have a world title shot in Japan
Yep.
or like in Forbidden Door.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe they didn't want him to go and wrestle. Maybe New Japan is like, we don't want him to wrestle for the IWGP. So they're just having a match.
Wrestlers.
Yeah. So it becomes a match for
Maybe
the sake
that's
of having a match. You know what I mean? So there was unfortunately, it is what it is. And once again,
remember there was an interview that Takeshita did. I think
Yep.
he complained that he wasn't well booked in AEW.
Mm.
And then right after that, he got a title opportunity.
But yeah, that leads to nothing. So
That sounds like Tony Khan, right? Tony Khan is the kind like, I don't want to do anything, and then like, no, I complain about you on public forum. Like, no, okay, I'm gonna backtrack. I'll give you something.
Oh my god, that is such a terrible culture to cultivate in your company. By the way, the idea that if you're not getting what you want, you go on social media to complain, and he will look.
But he is feeding into it. He is like making it okay to do that. Okay, like whatever Takeshita say is fair. Like his points were valid. Like, in America they care more about character. He's not given an opportunity to be that. Blah blah blah. But you guys see his raw talent. Like we all agree that out of all the Japanese wrestlers that are on AEW, he's actually the guy that actually legit looks like the most badass.
Yes.
Young, in shape, got potential. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
Why not put all your chips on Takeshita? Make him the biggest deal ever. Like put him on the same level as Ospreay. And he did have an awesome match with Ospreay.
No, he's not even the top guy in Don Callis' family. It's Will. So he's not even. He's just there. It's a waste. It's a massive waste.
AEW doesn't do a lot of things. They don't capitalize, right? Remember when one time Wheeler Yuta was the biggest deal ever?
I wouldn't say the biggest. He did have some momentum, but yeah, they completely dropped the ball on him, and I don't know what the hell happened to him.
Yeah, and Takeshita, they have been building him up quite well because last year he had a few matches with Kenny Omega, and he beat Kenny Omega. So after beating Kenny Omega, he should be like upper card main event. He should have won a TNT title or something.
Yeah. Let's move on to Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage match.
Okay, for the purposes of name value, this should be a pay-per-view match. Right?
Yeah. Okay. But with the main event, the Anarchy in the Arena, it's a bit much really lah. With
too much blood buffs.
Too much blood, too much garbage wrestling. Edge is just living out his like, all right, I get to do shit that they would never let me do phase right now, right? I didn't hate the match, was it a bit excessive? Maybe. They tried to, I enjoyed the Gangrel.
My question is,
return.
Have Malachi Black and Edge actually had a one-on-one ring match?
That's the thing. And this seems to be AEW's philosophy. You know how we're always like, okay, you build one-on-one first, then got fuck finish, then rematch, then the issue not settled, then I challenge you, steel cage, blah blah blah, or steel cage not settled, hell in the it builds up, right? AEW everything tumbalik one. First match, barbed wire steel cage, and then next match, one-on-one wrestling match. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I know in the weeks leading up on Dynamite, he was having matches with the different members of House of Black. Right?
Sure.
They should have done at least one match on pay-per-view or whatever. It's just a one-on-one, straight out one-on-one match. And then they can do this crazy shit on the next pay-per-view.
And then if they did that here, right? Let's say it's Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black one-on-one, and then you have the House of Black interfering, then Adam can be like, all right, I'm sick of the interfering. We'll do it one-on-one in an enclosed space. I wanted to say Hell in a Cell. Steel cage match, right? It escalates like that. But no, they go from here to up here, barbed wire. And it's not even just a steel cage, barbed wire steel cage match. My God.
And I'm sad because actually this is the first time Malachi Black has been highlighted on pay-per-view like as a solo in a long time.
And what did he do? He lost.
Bro, the whole prospect of Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black should be a dream match, should have been treated as such. especially if you remember how Malachi was booked the first time he joined AEW. Remember when he gave that kick to Cody Rhodes and he was like the biggest deal ever?
Yep.
That version of Malachi Black, who if he had still sustained that momentum, I know it's
Mm.
impossible, but if he had that momentum fighting against Adam Copeland,
Yep.
holy shit, big
Okay.
game. Like I think
I,
it was just kid really.
I also have to question Adam Copeland's motives here, right? Did he do all this just for the moment? I'm sure you saw the interview with Chris Van Vliet where he actually pitched to have Gangrel show up at WrestleMania.
Yes,
And
correct.
they said no. And is this like his way of finally have that play out? Because
Yeah.
I don't see why does Adam Copeland need to beat Malachi Black here? You know what I mean? It does nothing to elevate House of Black.
Well, I guess he wants to retain his title and still be the champion, TNT champion. But
At the cost of, isn't the whole point of him coming to AEW to elevate or to have fun? It seems like to me, and I obviously I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe next week they'll have a return match or something. But once again, if they do a return match, how are they going to top this? They can't, so they have to go backwards.
I think I know what it is. Because Adam Copeland also said in the interview that he wants his time is limited. He wants to wrestle all these wrestlers in AEW, all these dream matches.
So
what he's doing right now, he's just cycling through opponents, lah,
so
basically.
he's not building people up, like he's just wrestling, lah. Just
Yeah, lah, it's a farewell tour for him. It's not, yeah, he might maybe frame it as like, okay, I want to build over, put over stars. But he's not going to lose to these stars. He's just going to put them over by beating them and being in the same ring as them.
I don't think he put him over. I think he made Malachi Black look like a chump. So I hated the
Don't be
finish.
surprised, I tell you, Dynamite is going to find a new opponent. He's going to move on from this whole thing.
Malachi can't catch a break. I mean, he's married to Selena Vega. Are they married?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, so he won in life already, lah. So that's fine, lah.
That's fine. Okay, but okay, let's give props to Gangrel. I think Gangrel actually did a great job in his cameo. Like he looks good still.
Yeah, he even took
He
a
looks
kick.
like Gangrel.
Yeah, he took the spinning kick that Malachi Black does.
Yeah, and he had a great Impaler DDT. So like that was nice. But bro, can you imagine, bro? They legitimately can have a Brood reunion in AEW right now.
Oh yeah, Christian, but yeah lah, Christian is in a different space altogether, which we will talk about in just a bit. Let's move on from Adam Cope versus Black. Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale. They booked themselves into an incredible corner here because
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this match, bro. Very curious to hear your thoughts.
I think that from a wrestling standpoint, I think it was fine. You know, I think Sasha Banks, Moné's. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I had a hard time really getting into this match because, once again, their alignments were all over the place. Mercedes Moné, even though she's supposed to be a face, she was cheered like a face, but she acting heelish. Willow Nightingale could have been built up here. But I think they booked it in such a way where either person winning would have been... nobody gains. Because if Willow Nightingale won, Mercedes looks like a chump in her big return, right?
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné wins. Willow Nightingale looks like a chump. They've been building up Willow Nightingale. She's actually been getting heat and cheers, right? Organically, you cut her off at the knees. So this is a lose-lose situation here. But I guess because you paid more money for Mercedes Moné, you have to give her the title lah.
And they tried to give an out by having Chris Statlander turn heel. So maybe it's going to run with that.
Yeah, so, okay, but if you think about this whole thing as a program in it itself, right? So now Willow will move on to feud with Chris and Stokely, correct? Then Mercedes moves on, like, it's done. I wouldn't be surprised if this was done. Mercedes now has a championship. Championship should come on Dynamite, do her dance, and then Willow will feud with Chris Statlander. And just fade into the background of Rampage or Collision.
Did you enjoy this match? I mean, after 8 weeks of build-up for Mercedes Moné to be in the ring, did she deliver in the ring for you?
No. Because I had a lot of issues with, like I said, the alignment of everything lah. Who should I be cheering for? Why should I be cheering for Mercedes? You know?
It's funny for me because, okay, I want to share my thoughts on this match. Like I actually felt like this is actually one of the better wrestled women's matches in AEW that I've seen in a while. Like, one thing that I can't deny, and I think no one can deny, Mercedes Moné is great in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, she can wrestle, she's athletic, she's great, she can tell a story. She doesn't my issue with Becky Lynch is that Becky Lynch seems to feel the need to call everything in the ring, and it looks very obvious. She has the John Cena problem, right?
Yep.
But Sasha Banks, and I've seen her lead a match with Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 37, right? She is a great ring general. I think she's smooth. She for a women's wrestler, I think she definitely is one of the better matches.
Yep.
And I think she actually really gave Willow Nightingale like the best match of her AEW career. Like
Yep.
that I actually paid attention to throughout the whole match.
Mm.
So bell to bell, the in-ring worked for me. But you're right, everything else around it was the issue.
Yep.
Like whether it's the 8-week build of her just not doing shit and completely devaluing her character and value until the time she actually entered the ring.
Yep.
That was a big issue for me. The fact that you're right, her promo before the match was like some inspirational belief in yourself, blah blah
Yep,
blah blah
yep.
blah. Right? Remember the entrance?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Even though
she said,
literally her character is a show-off character.
yeah, and she's a heel.
Yeah.
She's a heel in the ring.
Yeah.
And Willow Nightingale actually kudos to her. She actually became organically over, like as champion.
and I hate
people
and
are
I
liking
hate
her.
and I hate to say this, but she's gonna fade away because of AEW's inability to capitalize on anything organic.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing. You know why? Because Willow is technically an AEW original.
Yep.
She actually got over organically, and she is actually a great wrestler in her own right. And like she has the size, so she's different. She's unique.
She's a very likable, character. You know, the way she portrays herself. She's very likable. You can't help she's cool, you know?
I love her music. Very happy, very earth, wind, and fire.
Yeah. And like I said, at least, we know that at least Chris Statlander, we've said, got potential. But now you got Willow versus Chris. I don't think Mercedes is going to be a part of this. So who does Mercedes move on to?
So that's the issue, right? Because instead of highlighting the TVS Championship with some AEW originals, you're going to have the AEW originals fight with each other on probably like a Rampage or something, or Collision. And then Mercedes Moné is going to go out because she's the biggest now. So, unfortunate. But do you think this was deserving of being part of the triple main event? Because this was billed as a main event.
Yeah. I think so. Just name value lah. This one is pure name value, right? Mercedes Moné. Let's move on to the second of the triple main events. Okay, I will say this: the last three matches, sure, they deserve to be on the pay-per-view. The ones that we said should exclude, we've already excluded lah.
Excluded them already,
Swerve versus Christian Cage. I love Swerve's entrance, by the way.
What else can I say about it? Swerve, Nana, and all that nonsense.
But his heat has definitely cooled down significantly. Did you notice this?
Yeah.
They have not been able to capitalize on his popularity. It's just gone down. I mean, I think we don't even need to talk about the match itself. I think it was a fine match, you know?
Yeah.
It's a veteran versus a very polished. I guess he's considered a newer guy.
Yeah, I mean he's been around the block, but I think he hasn't gotten his chance. So this is his chance, right?
I just wish there wasn't the whole with Nick Wayne and Mother Wayne and everybody getting involved.
Yeah. One thing I must say about this match itself was I felt like this match felt more of a bigger deal than him versus Samoa Joe, which is weird because him and Samoa Joe was him winning the titles. That should be the biggest deal.
Yeah.
But I think this felt more of like a proving ground match, like him to be worthy of the main event. I think he did a good job. I felt like Swerve, I think because of a lot of Christian Cage's great heel work, is helping to elevate Swerve as this fighting champion that's trying to defend the crown.
But that being said, and this is the main problem with AEW right now, right? The AEW World Championship match completely overshadowed. In fact, the whole card completely overshadowed. Nobody's talking about that because you have to have the clusterfuck match at the end. Which, I mean, if there was any place to put the clusterfuck match, it would have to be at the end. That makes sense, right? But honestly, if you ended the pay-per-view there, I think it would have been fine. I would have been very happy. But no. Yeah. I pay $35. I want to see somebody get set on fire.
Safe to say we are moving on from the Christian Cage Swerve match.
Yeah, because let's face it, that's all that anybody is talking about the next match, Anarchy in the Arena. The Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Kazuchika Okada, Jack Perry versus Team AEW, which is Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, Cash, and Dax.
Yes, correct. Where do we even begin with this? Wait.
How much did they pay for the final countdown?
No, that was a running joke that they was talking about how, like, remember Tony Khan said at the press conference that he paid an absurd amount of money for a song.
Again,
I think they were getting into that joke.
Again, inside joke for inside fans. Most people, anybody else watching would have no idea what that joke was. You know what I mean? The second he did it, I was like, yeah, I get the joke. Like, stop playing music. It's costing me $200,000 or something like that. Like you said, I was like, okay, fine, I get it.
Before we deep dive into the match itself, can you just give me an update what the chat is saying about AEW so far? Because I'm very curious to hear people's thoughts as well on that.
Knee-jerk booking. Tovakin said, I think a lot of people are going back to work already because it is 3:20.
Oh yeah, let's finish it off.
Yeah.
but you're right. It is. I don't know how to review this match.
Because it's not a match. It's not pro wrestling anymore. They want to talk about they're the best pro wrestling company and this is the ultimate slap in your face. This is the ultimate sports entertainment. And to be fair, WWFE, F/E, have done nonsense as well like this before. But I think now that they are publicly traded, I mean, are they public or private now? No, they're private because they sold to TKO.
No. The TKO is a publicly traded.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, TKO is publicly traded. So yeah, because they are publicly traded, they're not going to do like freaking arson and bullshit like this lah. So they still have to be respectable. But my God, man, we've come a long way from sports-based presentation, haven't we?
Yeah. Okay, I mean, at least we can say that, you know, the AEW can provide some of the things that WWE can provide, which is like this kind of violence, this level of...
Yeah, is this what we want? I don't know about you, but I felt uncomfortable watching this. I felt embarrassed watching this.
That boils down to preference, right? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that at least now there is a place where, you know, this kind of nonsense can exist in wrestling.
For the low price of $35, you can watch somebody get flamethrowed. I mean, I just think it's hilarious. They keep saying they're pro wrestling, but they're super sports entertainment now. it's just ironic.
Like the thing is, right, when I see old school brawls from back in the day, right, like you know, NWA or whatever it is, like war games, like it was gritty and it was violent, but it never went out of the realms of reality.
Yeah. This one you had to really like, oh, that has got to be fake, right? Because they can't do it for real. That's the thing. And we are not saying that they should do it and make it look real. Oh, Jack Perry shouldn't come up drenched in fire retardant gel. Of course, we're not saying that. That's effed up, right? Don't do the spot. It's so far out the realm of, well, then again, you know, then they're going to say, then what? You can believe an undead man can come back to life?
I don't really want to go into that kind of comparison of issues. Talking about this match specifically, you know who I feel the most wasted out of all these people?
Bryan
Danielson.
Yeah.
I felt Bryan Danielson last pay-per-view had a, let's admit it, 5-star match with Will Ospreay.
Yes.
Where the focus was on wrestling. And then this was just complete dog
rubbish. You know, it was I almost feel like if they call this a lights out match, non-official match, I think that would have been better. But you know what I mean? There's nothing to talk about here. It's just a bunch of brawling, stupid spots, right? Okada was like, I find it very hard to understand why people revere him. Because anytime I see him in the ring, take a spot, he has the same face. Doesn't change. He's not selling anything. He looks like shit doing everything.
Bro, the Okada of AEW is nothing compared to prime Okada in New Japan.
I have to believe that for me to be able to like justify, like, you know, that he's getting paid.
We can watch 2017 Omega and, you know.
Oh yeah, we should go back, right? Just to refresh, right? But like, my God, he was... And then you have Cash and Dax, who are like, legit wrestlers, also having to do this bullshit, right?
The
Do you
coldest they've
okay?
ever been,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. They used to remember when they were super over. Ah, okay. Other than the most obvious thing, is anything in this match standing out to you? Also Tony Khan getting yanked from. I thought he was still. Well, he recovered from his neck injury very fast. Huh? Wow, very good.
Bro, his rolling is so awkward. Even his
Oh.
rolling is awkward. I cannot.
No,
I cannot.
but
And then
it has
go
come.
lunge back into the backstage.
It has come to pass. We joked about it before. How long would it take for him to finally become part of a storyline? He had to get involved.
5 years. 5 years actually okay lah. I actually give him props lah. 5 years actually was longer than I thought it would take.
Oh yeah, you thought at 3 years he would be on screen.
Yeah, I thought the next episode really is there.
Oh, and then him driving up to AEW Dynamite with Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Darby
so okay.
Allin and the flamethrower and all that nonsense. At least that one was on brand with Darby Allin.
Yeah.
So I can even I can even laugh at it.
Here's the thing, right? I've talked about this before. Where are you gonna go from here? What are they gonna do the next year? Machine gun? What are they, like rocket launcher? Like you've literally gone so far over the line that you can't take it back anymore. Now, and this is it's like when you have an argument with somebody, right? And they are consistently losing because they actually have no substance. So they do something so outrageous just to get attention. This is what the elite are doing right now,
Okay, so the question I want to ask you is like, after all that nonsense, right? The elite got the win, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, they had to get the win if they wanted to establish themselves, sure. But do you feel like now they can claim that they are ruling AEW? They're like the most important faction in AEW right now because of this win?
That
Because
makes
they did
me...
beat, like AEW's... They did beat AEW's best wrestlers per se.
That makes me want to watch the show even less, unfortunately. Like here's the problem also. They don't look the part. They don't look, like Triple H, what they call themselves at the time?
The Click.
No, not the Click. With Seth Rollins as champion, the
Authority.
The Authority. At least they look the part. Vince McMahon and Shane and his big fucking gang of cronies, they look the part. These jokers do not look like they could run a Target. To quote CM Punk.
Bro, like, even if you look at the Shield, like, everyone looked like a badass.
Yeah.
Or like NWO,
Yep.
everyone was tall, muscular.
Yep.
No one wants to mess with Scott Hall. Fuck. Right?
This is the epitome of indie-rific wrestling. On the indies, this shit flies. This is ECW on a budget. I think Bubba Ray said that. This is ECW on a budget.
Yeah, it literally is. It's ECW with Tony Khan, funding ECW.
And okaying the idea of setting Jack Perry on fire. Like, okay, once again, let's not nitpick on the fact that when he came out with Tony Khan, he was covered in gel. It was like, oh my God, he's gonna do the flamethrower spot, isn't he? He's gonna get lit on fire. So you knew he was gonna get set on fire. But it was like, when it happened, I was like, oh my God, can we please not have somebody die here, like, or get seriously injured? And then for the guy who got flamed to pick up the win, dude.
Oh dear God, yeah, we never even realized that.
That's the other thing. Okay, and they hung Darby Allin up there for like forever. The poor guy. The crowd was chanting, "Please help him! Please help him!" Right? And then
I think when I watched this match, my brain switched off because I kind of like I tried to stay up through the night to watch this match, and
bro, you know how long the match was?
What, 20 half an hour?
30 minutes. It was the longest match of the whole thing. It should have been a 15-minute. If you want to do this out Crash TV, just do 15 minutes. We don't need your stupid song thing, random shots of people brawling, FTR disappearing halfway. It's like you didn't need all this. It was really them. We talked about how Tony Khan just lets them do whatever they want to do. This is manifest in the worst way possible. And at this point, it just seems like they are grasping at straws.
You know what? I think, I wanted to so-called praise Double or Nothing, It was good for what it was. There were
Yeah.
things that I enjoyed. But at the end of the day, it goes back to that whole buffet metaphor, right?
Yeah.
If there's something in wrestling that there's a particular style that you are opposed to or that you enjoy, you will probably have found it in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree, like, not all wrestling styles work or is to everyone's liking.
So this Anarchy in the arena match is
Yeah.
like the bad oysters in the buffet. The rest of the buffet is fine. You like the dessert, you like the the prata station, you like the omelette station, but then you eat 1-2 oysters and then you lao sai. They are the oyster station.
Okay. So this is the part where Jason wants to know, right? So how would you rank it? You know what? I will say my ranking first so
Okay.
that there's no bias, okay? So I felt like taking everything into consideration, my favorite matches were, like you said, Osprey and Roderick Shaw was actually one of my favorite matches.
Same.
I actually enjoyed Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné. Don't hate me, but I did enjoy it as a match.
No, it's fine. Yeah, as a match, it was fine.
Yeah, and in terms of another good wrestling match, I actually enjoyed Swerve and Christian Cage. So I did find positives from the match, but to me, Anarchy in the Arena a bit too much for me.
Yep, same.
Adam Copeland and Malachi Black could have been better. It was a bit more disappointing.
Yep.
And like let's not talk about the other matches. The other matches were like shit lah. Okay.
No, but you see,
even Moxley and Takeshita, I thought was a good match that could have been so much better. So
I feel like we have to consider the other matches because it affects our viewing of this pay-per-view, right? It's not like we get to pick and choose and say, oh, if we remove A, B, C, D, E, F, G match, it'll be a 5-star, 10 out of 10. Because it did happen. We have to consider the pacing and all that stuff as well in a 4.5 pay-per-view.
So just now, King of the Ring, you said it was like a 7.5, right?
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you. I thought it was 7. I think it was 7.5 for me. Backlash was better. Dynasty, even though I ranked it lower than you, I remembered.
Yeah.
I still think Dynasty was better than this.
Yes.
So if I could recall, I can't remember exactly how much I ranked Dynasty, but I think I would say to me Double or Nothing was 6 for me.
See the problem is if you give your numbers first, I might tend to agree with you. You know what I mean?
Because both of us are on the same wavelength.
Yeah. No, okay. No, my issue with it, and I feel exactly the same as you do, right? There were really solid matches, and that is the part that I think bugs me the most, and bugs us all the most about AEW, is that we know the potential, but because a certain group, the elite, are calling all the shots and overshadowing everything, the show is about them, and everyone else just like sort of does their good work, but ultimately gets forgotten about because they're overshadowed, right? I agree. Yeah. This is like a 6.5, and I hated the pacing of this because it just really felt very hard to watch. I had to break it up into 3 different viewings. I could not sit through 4.5 hours of this. And especially by the last one, oh my God. And let's not forget, the last section of it, you had the cage match with all the blood and everything. You had Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale with a lot of interference. Swerve and Cage with a lot of interference. It was just an overbooked mess.
Bro, we have seen WWE shows that we can actually sit through 4 hours and it felt like an easy watch.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. So I definitely agree that if you can't make us sit through 3 hours, 4 hours, and it's gonna be a slog, then that's a failure on your end.
Yeah.
Like that means like I said, the WWE GM manager mode, right?
Yeah. You spam. You just spam everything. So for the wrestlers in the individual matches, I think there were standouts that were really good. But as a whole, the pay-per-view, it was tough to watch. I would also give it a 6, maybe a 6.5.
Yeah. And another thing I want to complain about is, I mean, I know wrestling fans like to complain, but I think this is legitimate complaint.
Right, yeah.
Like, this is their 5th anniversary show.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, why wasn't there no vignettes? Why wasn't there a look back at past Double or Nothing moments? Why wasn't there an attempt to make it a big deal?
Bro,
You know what I mean?
you have to give Tony Khan a break. He's recovering from a neck injury. He took a
Bro,
terrible. He has to work from home remotely.
bro,
Poor guy.
Double or Nothing, right? Had one of the best matches in AEW history. It was their first ever match, the Cody versus Dustin,
Dustin, yes,
2019. Bro, they literally could have just shown like moments from that match, and people would probably pop for like, oh my god, they showed Cody Rhodes on AEW, but like
bro,
it's
cannot, bro. Cody Rhodes,
AEW.
bro, cannot.
No, but I think that's a to me that they have the right to show that because that is part of their history. That's a big moment.
Yeah, yeah,
And in my opinion, like Double or Nothing is supposed to be the first ever pay-per-view that they ever done. It should have been a historic moment. And
yep,
I think they should have paid tribute to the
yep.
past Double or Nothings.
This, but we know they are not booking long term. What? This is endemic. This is literally the problem with AEW right now. They're booking on the fly. I don't know if they realized it. I find it very hard to believe that they forgot it was the 5th anniversary, right?
I don't
Like,
think they did, but maybe they didn't put enough priority to
yeah.
it, which is a shame.
If this was, like, you think about it, if this was WrestleMania 5, that would have been a big number 5 or a big V, like 40, big deal. Like, the number 40. Yeah, exactly. Anniversaries are a big deal. It's something to celebrate, right?
Yeah. And also it's not just that, right? It's like they are all about talking about how they changed the world. They want to talk about how they made a historic thing, historic moment. I never get that feeling when I was watching this show. It felt like any other pay-per-view.
You know
Why?
why? I think
Yeah.
a big reason is because they threw, once again, it's like the buffet. After you go and eat the buffet, you don't remember any specific part of the buffet. You just feel, I
Yeah.
want,
Maybe they
That's
just had too
how,
many matches and then they
yeah.
couldn't
Yeah,
find time to do all that.
it was just bloated. It was just bloated, and it was Tony Khan. I don't know if he's trying to be a nice guy. Say, everybody, you have a match, you have a match, you have a match. Everybody have a match, But
Yeah.
it is what it
So
is.
if it was me, like I would have, if I was the booker, I would probably have done a lot more effort paying tribute to the past. Especially they need to be proud of the fact that and they
Yeah,
have this 5-year history now.
yeah, yeah.
So and it would be a great way for fans to kind of remember. Hey, remember when AEW was a big deal, such a great thing.
Okay, so let's talk about the finish. And we alluded to this earlier, like, because the Elite, they want to make it a thing where they are the evil overlords, right? They picked up the win. Instead of highlighting, and it could have been MJF's big return to save AEW, right? You just imagine that pop.
Yeah.
Like, you had the flamethrower moment, you have this shit, that shit, MJF comes in. But MJF looking like Wolverine, by the way. I think his fluffy hair, I think he purposely won.
The wolf. That's why I call it the wolf of
Wolf.
wrestling.
Yeah, exactly right. I think, honestly, I truly believe he just doesn't want to have anything to do with the Elite. So that's probably a good move on his part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Double or Nothing. I hate to end it on a down, but it is what it is. Okay, you know what? We are moving ahead. Forbidden Door is coming up soon.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, what is WWE's next pay-per-view other than NXT?
Clash at the Castle, bro.
Clash at the Castle in Scotland. Oh my god! So that's gonna be awesome because the crowd's gonna be awesome.
I believe Clash at the Castle is gonna be on the last week of June. I'm not sure. Can you confirm? But June is gonna be a hype month for wrestling as well.
Bro.
Not just WWE, AEW, local wrestling as well.
Very soon, June 15th, Father's Day.
Ooh. Okay, bro. June 15th. So that is the week after I come back. So technically we can preview. We'll come back. I'll come back and do a preview show, right?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Sahu says, do not clip Mr. Young groaning after. Just now when I'm.
I didn't hear that. Okay.
But okay.
Shout
Interesting.
Out to for still being on the chat at what time is it now?
It is 3:41 on a Tuesday afternoon. So, Clash of the Castle is going to be exciting. Dual Destinies, the GrappleMAX show is going to be exciting. Forbidden Door is going to happen.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But you know what? Before that, all that craziness is going to start in June. I think I'm still going to be on a holiday. I'm actually in Europe. I think next year I'm in Switzerland. So I will probably not be able to do a podcast.
It's okay, bro. I think we need to take a break after this incredible week of wrestling. We're all busy. I think that, you know what? If you just joined us on the podcast, just listen to half of the podcast and then save the next half for next week.
Take a break and then listen to the Double or Nothing preview next week.
Oh god. Okay, no, we're kidding. But we'll
so
probably take a week
especially-
next week lah.
Yeah, especially for you, Young. I think you also deserve to at least take a break and like rest up as well. I
Yeah.
know you've been doing sun duty the whole last 2 weeks.
It's been kind of crazy. So I'm sure undoubtedly there will be stories. And once again, you can always head to our Discord. We will chat and catch up via the Discord as well as to what happens.
I want to give a shout out to Muhammad Daniel and a couple of our listeners as well, because they actually been DMing me asking for like, hey, we love your merch. Can you send across some of the Kick to the Gut marks and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So appreciate it. So this is a quick plug for our Patreon. If you want to get some of our merch, Mr. Yang, we also have our decal stickers as well. Go join us on the Kick to the Gut Champion tier. So that is USD $9.99. It's about $4 a month. But any future merch that we create, we're gonna send it across to you for free, right? As part of the package. If not, if you want to buy the merch and stuff, I think you can approach me directly. I will probably have to charge you for the shipping fee lah, because it's expensive, bro.
That's true. That's true. Foreign is wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, for sure. But I appreciate you guys who wants to get our merch, and please tag us when you get it and your marks and that. So that should be fun.
Absolutely. Okay, with that, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast. If you're listening to this on Spotify or on YouTube after the fact, we thank you as well. Once again, description is where you can find all our links to our socials, our TikTok, our Instagram page, our Discord. We talked about the Discord. And of course, shout out to our lovely sponsors, Miraj Advisory. We are truly in the Miraj era of Kick to the Gut. They love wrestling. They're supporting our love for wrestling. So do us a favor, go drop them a support as well. Follow them on their Instagram page. That's Miraj Advisory.
Yes, for sure. And definitely, guys, again, you want to support us, please support us on our Patreon. Any amount of tier will be gladly appreciated. For those of you who didn't catch GrappleMAX's previous show, Fight Club, our lovely Patreon and OG listener, Div, is going to share her star ratings. I'm going to publish it pretty soon on our Patreon, as well as the SPW star ratings as well on the Patreon for Ignition. So it's going to be a lot of fun stuff happening there. So even if you're going to take a break next week for the podcast, stick with Kick to the Gut through our various other channels as well.
Heck yeah. In the meantime, of course, Foreign is right now live from Liverpool. He's even wearing the Liverpool shirt. Come on, sing the song, bro. You'll never...
Wait, before that. Tonight, I'm actually going to watch Evening with Jurgen Klopp, his farewell concert in Liverpool.
Wait, Jurgen Klopp has a concert?
Bro, no, the city actually organized like a concert farewell for him. So like,
wow.
So there's gonna be like a Liverpool musician. There's gonna be like I don't know when the team is gonna be there, but Jurgen Klopp is gonna be there in person. And your boy got hospitality tickets.
Let's go
to go backstage and pre-show to lepak, have some coffee, and I don't know what all these British people eat. And hang out with Liverpool legends, bro.
Is it? Wow. Steven Gerrard going to be there. Who else? I don't know.
I have no idea. I'll try to take some photo. I don't know whether you saw. I actually managed to step onto Anfield a few days back.
Yeah, nice.
So that was a magical moment. And I actually sat in the damn locker room, bro. I sat like Mo Salah when he changed. And then I very kepo, right? So the locker room beside got the toilet. So apparently the toilet is where they go shower all that. I'm like, ooh, this is all the men's shower toilet.
What the heck, bro? Did you take a swab to go and swab for DNA and all that kind of stuff?
No, I didn't. But you know what? I think once I'm there, right? Once I'm in the Anfield, the Liverpool style, blah blah blah. Bro, I think S-League need to step up their game. Singapore Stadium need to step up, really lah.
Okay. We need to start teaching our crowds to sing. If we ever get WWE, we need to show them we have a voice.
Yes, we do. We definitely have a voice, but we're too small. We need the community to be bigger. For
True that. All right, bro, you enjoy.
Can we say one more thing before we go off or not?
What?
Can we give a shout out to our Dante Chen, who actually had a victory over Alexis King?
Right,
NXT?
let's go. Yeah. Robert Stone, seeing the potential. I guess he's going to be his manager on NXT.
Isn't this what we've always wanted, bro? We've always said that we needed a manager. He needed someone to be his mouthpiece, and he can do the thing in the ring.
And he's going to work a program with Lexis King, which is going to be very exciting. He picked up his first win So
And
yeah,
he had a backstage segment with Ava Rain,
I saw that.
and the team manager and The Rock's daughter. I mean, like, hey, Dante Chen chilling with The Rock's daughter, bro. What's up?
Hey, he's on the ascendancy. We always knew that he could do it. Now he's finally get the opportunity. And did you hear the pop for him when he was announced as the opponent? Yeah.
So his level up work is like really getting noticed by the NXT audience. So shout out to him, man. Good job.
Absolutely. Flying the flag proud. You can see he wears the Singapore flag on his ring gear. Very cool.
Love it. Very love it.
Bro, enjoy the rest of Liverpool. Enjoy Switzerland. Drink some... Do you think hot chocolate, right? Swiss cheese. Go to the hometown of Cesaro.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do all that stuff. I don't know where the hell is his hometown, but sure. Oh, Lucerne.
No, Lucerne. That's right. Switzerland. Where else? Where else? Just before we wrap up.
So after this, I'm actually going back to London, and my girlfriend is actually flying over with her mom in London, so we're going to spend a couple of days there. Then I'm going to do a detour to Germany first.
Oh.
I don't know whether you remember, I actually have a friend in Germany who actually came to Singapore to backpack. So so this is me returning the favor almost 9 years later. I'm going to his hometown in Dortmund.
Dortmund.
Yeah. So I'm going to be in Dortmund. I'm going to go up to Munster. I'm going to go down to Frankfurt.
Nice.
For a day. And then take a train across the border into Interlaken. That's where I'm going to be. And then I think from Interlaken, I'm going to spend a couple of days in another city in Grindelwald. And then my flight back is actually from Munich, so I'm actually going to cross the border back to Munich.
Oh, right. Wait. So where does Switzerland fit into all this?
No. So Interlaken and Grindelwald is part of Switzerland. So Germany is on top of Switzerland. So I have to take the train the border down. Yeah.
Right. I see.
Okay, so so I got a few more days. I have until Wednesday in Liverpool. I'm very much debating whether I should take like a day trip to Manchester. But I mean, I'm not a Manchester fan, so I don't know what's the point of going there. But
do it, bro. Do it. Go into the quote unquote enemy territory, huh?
Go there, eat sambal or like eat like Malay food. I don't know why.
Why? Yeah, you go there and buy. Huh?
Bro, I've been missing sambal, bro. I haven't been eating.
I'm sure they have Singapore restaurants. You go there and you pay like 30 pounds for nasi lemak.
Oh, no. I'm gonna actually head down to the Beatles Museum after this. At the docks. So I'm probably gonna check out like what's there for now. It's 8:41 a.m. So I'm gonna have breakfast soon, bro. So,
nice. Lincoln Lee says go watch Champions League final.
Bro, Champions League final at Wembley, bro. And the week after I leave already.
Shag only lah. That's the worst.
I'm missing it, guys. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's all right. All right. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. As always, we appreciate your company. We'll take a break next week. We'll be back after that for more wrestling action. As always, the description is where you can find all our links. Once again, we appreciate you so very much. It's Mr. Young.
And it's for In the Building, live from Liverpool.
Bring 'em out!